Like you said, a human being, and I'm going to make you take that chance.
Certainly. Why, I wouldn't let her stay.
What's up, Coom Troops?
Troops. How we doing? Having a chill
Ready for the
evening.
weekend? I am.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you brought a drink. It's gonna get interesting.
Zedia, duh.
I hope you brought your favorite conspiracy theory too, because I want to know some crazy shit.
I noticed that you also forgot to change the title. Haha. Not just me, bitch.
I fixed it though.
Yeah, but I fixed it too.
You
On my
fixed it
stream.
too.
Yesterday. Yeah, I'm just saying,
Oh.
I think it's funny that we both forgot.
Yeah. I
I
don't know. I was
started
in a
it and I
hurry.
didn't think I could change it again. And then I went and saw you. I was like, I forgot to change the title. And he goes, you can change it anytime. So
Yeah.
I ran straight back.
I changed it in the middle of the beginning of the stream, and if you were here early enough, you caught me making that thumbnail while the music was playing.
What?
Yeah. And go back and watch it.
It was caught on stream?
Yeah, because I went live and I was like, oh, this is a Skyrim thumbnail. And I was like, well, what do I do? I'll just take a picture and...
But wait, they could hear you and see you?
they could see me, they couldn't hear me. I didn't say anything.
Oh.
I just very stealthily stealthily made that thumbnail, and then
I'm gonna go through and watch that as soon as we're done here.
went
just
back
so
to
you
the
know.
starting soon screen as soon as I reasonably could. Yeah, you do that.
Yeah.
You all should. And make me regret my
Super stealthy.
pathetic production
Don't
skills.
say pathetic. I don't like that word. I really don't. It's my least favorite.
Pitiful,
I
then.
think that's better.
That is better. Such a small distinction between pitiful and pathetic.
Something about the word I just think is really rude. Really mean. It's not a good one.
No, it's not.
Like, I would rather, this may be extreme for some of you. I'd personally rather be called a cunt.
I'd rather be called an asshole.
You
But
know?
you call me that like once every other day. So.
Hey, asshole. No. I more often call you a motherfucker.
Motherfucker. Lately, it's every day.
What?
I'm just finding all kinds of reasons to.
To have me call you an asshole?
Yeah.
I called you an asshole earlier?
No.
Oh.
I'm just making sure.
Why are you such a fucking liar?
Why are you such a lying motherfucker, James?
So,
Anyway, before the stream gets demonetized for
Or-
swearing instead of
It's gonna get
playing music.
claimed.
Yeah.
it's gonna get claimed, if anything. Our last Tuesday's video got claimed by like 4 different...
Turns out if we watch videos on stream,
They get hella claimed, but it's
we
fine.
don't make any money, but that's fine.
I mean, it's not like we're really making any money anyway.
it's not like we're rolling in the big bucks here.
Yeah.
But
No, we missed out on 50 cents.
hope you all had a great week and you're looking forward to a fun weekend. How was our trip to Hawaii? It was a blast. It felt really good to come home and get back into the routine.
Did kick a turtle. Sat down.
Oh my god, that turtle didn't feel it.
That turtle looked back at me and I made eye contact with that turtle, and that turtle, it spoke to me. It was telepathic. It said, "Fuck you, Josie. You're a dumb bitch."
I don't think so.
I
But-
felt it. I felt it in its gaze.
The turtle is fine, and that's all that matters. Maybe we'll share some photos. Well, I know Chelsea's been posting some stuff. Have you
Not
posted
really.
anything publicly?
Posted some things on Twitter.
Okay.
And
So
a couple
Chelsea's
things
posting
on the Instagram story while we were gone, but
bits of pieces on Instagram.
I just have so
And
many
Twitter.
photos to edit. I just don't. It's like overwhelming.
Time-consuming thing.
I've edited probably like 50 of them, and it's not like I really do much. I mostly just fix the lighting because oftentimes we look washed out by the way the sun is shining on us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just really annoying. Or it looks like it looks almost foggy in front of us from the. I don't know if that makes sense.
I mean, I know what you're talking about when we look washed out in the photos.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to post because there's another thing I want to post about, but the photos aren't back yet.
What is that?
The wedding.
Oh God, I know.
I was gonna make a post about that once we got
You
the
know, I
photos
asked
back.
Blake in a text and he never responded. They got married going on 3 months ago, and their photographer still has not given them the photos that I'm aware of. I'm pretty sure Alyssa would have told me.
I keep on trying to remember to ask, and it just keeps on slipping out of my brain.
It's really irritating. Like,
Um,
you don't need 3 months to edit all these wedding photos. You really
you
don't.
No, you don't.
I thought we were okay. I guess we could watch any conspiracy theories.
Well, I mean, if you have anything specific, feel free. I was just gonna scroll through and click on something that looked interesting.
That is hella slow, Rowan. I think it's more like 6 weeks that wedding photos are supposed to take. You know, somewhere around there.
I would
Our
anticipate
photographer got it back to us in 3 weeks because
Not-
it was her first wedding.
not too much longer than a month. You know, like once you get out to like the 2-month range, then I
I
think
think
you're
like
really
6 weeks is normal.
yeah. Once you approach 2 months, I think you're kind of using a little bit of
It took a month for our
Goodwill,
engagement photos.
yeah.
I remember checking like every day too in hopes that she'd post like a sneak peek or something. Never did. It hurt.
How dare they?
All these conspiracy theories suck.
The turtle is gay. That's bold of you to assume it's sexuality.
Very bold of you to assume.
I mean, it was a small turtle
Stop it,
too, so I
Ryan.
don't know. I mean, it wasn't
It
that
wasn't
small.
small. The thing was big. What do you want
Compared
about?
to the other turtles that we saw, that I saw turtles that were like 3 times as big. So I thought it could have been a juvenile.
We should look for what is that conspiracy theory called? Hold up, let me look for it. We should watch a video about it.
There's a cartoon.
I don't want to watch a cartoon.
Click
No.
on Detroit Local 4 Lansing hearing over House bill filled with misinformation, conspiracy theories, outright lies.
Search Oakville blobs
Oakville blobs. That seems more
because this is insane to me. We don't
specific.
need to. I don't want to watch that.
What?
There's an unsolved mysteries. I think like the
Oakville blob brain disease.
we don't know. I guess the conspiracy theory is that it's a disease. I don't know which one of these would be good to watch, though. That's the thing. We can scroll down and try to see if
They're alive!
there's a person talking about it.
Wait, so you don't want to watch
I guess we could
any of
watch
these?
that
There's
one.
this lady.
I've never watched her before. I just know about it. Have you guys heard about this? Because it is fucking wild. Wild. This person only has 800 views. Might be legit.
That gives it more credibility.
I don't know. I guess so.
I don't know either.
I did research on it myself, so it's because
You're gonna judge how accurate their facts are.
I think it's because of Wendigoon. He broke down the conspiracy theory iceberg, and he still isn't done with it. He's at like the last level, and he still hasn't finished it. And up in like one of the higher levels, he talked about this, and I was like, "What the frick?" So I looked it up myself and started to find out info about it. And I told you about it, but you forgot.
What is the conspiracy theory pyramid again? Like, I know there's levels of conspiracies, but like
theory
what
iceberg.
iceberg? So is it like a rabbit hole? They tell you to like look for each thing in the pyramid
Yeah.
and learn about every single thing.
Let's see.
Deep Rock,
I don't
Galactic Conspiracy Theory.
I really don't know. I haven't
Iceberg.
searched it myself. Here we go. It's like, is it this one? No.
Legendary Animals. And then it just gets deeper.
No, there's like one that has.
There's an official one?
Yes.
All of these have different things
No.
on them.
I know, because a lot of people, I think it's one like this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's this one. Because there's like a fuck ton of
The
shit.
conspiracies have like Yu-Gi-Oh cards and shit. What's that about?
It's like, they claim that
Look,
it's the level that your mind. Like,
What?
the level that you reach in your mind as you absorb these conspiracy theories and look into it.
This right here, guys.
Yeah.
This is wild. There's
Yeah. There's a fuck ton of shit on here.
Crazy Head, Deep Researcher, Truth Agent. We can level up
Yeah.
and then summon Exodia.
Transcended.
Reality Hacker. Oh, that's some
Man of the world.
that's some Elliot Alderson shit.
The Rebirth.
The Rebirth.
I didn't know there was a tier 0. Holy shit.
That's when you start over.
That's,
And then you do it all over again.
that's Buddhism, right? But in
You become reincarnated
conspiracy
and
theories.
continue to deep dive down the rabbit hole. Incorruptible Saints. There's so many things. So wait,
Everyone needs their conspiracy theory Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I haven't actually looked at this like at all myself.
we can read the descriptions just to provide some context.
There aren't. Oh, you mean of each tier?
Yeah,
See, you're supposed to look into each of these things
right.
on your own.
And then as you get to the end, you move on, and then you just keep on going. So
And so this is what Wendigoon's been breaking down. He's been doing like 3 parts on each tiers, basically, going down each column
like per video.
per tier. Yeah, one video is like one part, and some of them are shorter because it's just not a lot to talk about. But most of his videos are like an hour long, breaking down each column once he gets
Incredible.
further down, because there's a lot
Yeah, I
They're
see
like
that.
connected.
There's so much. What happens when you win?
Enlightenment?
I already said it. You start over.
Oh, you start over.
And then you learn it again and again, and then you get your degree, and then you
I don't
die.
know. I just like the this is gonna sound stupid, okay? But I like the creepy feeling that looking into conspiracy theories gives me.
The blinds are open. Should we close them? What if they're watching?
The helicopters!
I'll just read the descriptions.
Okay.
Tier 1, mainstream conspiracies and unsolved mysteries. Most of this stuff is well documented and known to a good portion of Western citizens. A lot of common theories may be grouped in broader terms or may not even appear on the chart at all, considering their meaning and popularity.
This chair is so loud.
Yeah, we gotta work on the chair situation. That's my next purchase for the stream. That's a creepy sound. Keep going. Deep Researcher is tier 2. Theories and Twilight Zone level stuff. Most of these entries can easily be studied through the use of mainstream medias, but they require a good grasp on how the world works to be fully understood. Common people rarely go this deep.
Common people.
Commoners never go to tier 3.
Isn't that funny?
A truth agent. I
Never
guess.
ever.
So part of the requirement for becoming a truth agent is you have to stab your eyes out.
And you have to wear a blue hoodie.
Yep.
Hood always up.
And you have to look like an anime character.
You always wear your hood up.
Not always. Don't stereotype. Point of no return. Some of this knowledge will make you appear and act like a lunatic to normal people eyes, but it's only the beginning. If you are still here, you might want to study and research more, following your path.
Follow your path.
The way of the conspiracy theorist. Adept of Secrets is tier 4. Occult learnings and mysteries of lower tier that apparently seem to be innocent start to become more sinister. Ooh. You begin to see patterns everywhere, realizing you only dipped your toes in the conspiracy world. Very few people believe or have heard of stuff from this level. Let me look. Cryptogeography, Red Rooms. The driver killed JFK. That'd be impressive if he did. Yeah, I haven't even heard. I mean, secret societies today.
I mean, Wendigoon has
It's
broken
pretty
down like each one of these terms or
generic.
like sentences, and I still don't remember all of them
Oh,
because there's so many. I just kind of listen. And I'm like, huh.
deaths.
I hang on to the ones that really get my nut, if you. And the Oakville Plums.
Yeah, conspiracy theories are a turn on.
I don't mean like, oh my god.
Did you know that Moses split the sea with a Beyblade?
I'd believe it.
I almost read out loud Keyblade. But
Ooh.
I like that too.
Oof.
Okay, so hold on. Tier 5 is Animaster. Animaster? Animaster.
I like that. Star Pose.
Right?
Star Pose.
Sergeant Starfish. This kind of knowledge. This kind of knowledge is often hidden in plain sight or can be found in very ancient texts after meticulous researches that may take dozens of years. From this point on, sane people have a hard time even understanding most of these concepts. The journey starts here. We're on tier 5 and the journey
This is
is
where
just
the journey
beginning.
really starts.
And
What I want to know is, I don't remember this, but I'm reading urine fasting, and I don't know how I don't remember what that was supposed to mean.
urine fasting.
Oh no, I'm afraid. No, they can all see what.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
that's
should
true.
maybe
Maybe we don't blow up the stream. God damn it.
Making me nervous.
I have to look this up. We'll see if it's anything bad.
I'm afraid.
One day fasting drastically decreased urinary thiamine content. This is just effects of fasting on urinary excretion.
What?
Is urine the miracle drug no one has told you about?
No. Give me some of that beep beep. Give me some of that boo boo.
Let's look up urine fasting conspiracy. Can everyone please stop drinking their own urine?
Look at the
Apparently-
Reddit, because Reddit always gives you
there's a
what
whole
it is.
subreddit.
Yeah.
I do not endorse this message, just FYI. Urine is an invaluable source of nourishment and healing that has been too controversial or not financially rewarding enough for it to be revealed to the public as a potent medicine. A living food, urine contains elements that are specific to one's body alone. The information that urine contains cannot be duplicated, derived from any other source. Just as no two people are exactly the same, there are no two urine samples that contain exactly the same components.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
There's almost 200 members.
There's literally a subreddit just called straight up urine fasting.
Yeah, it's a way of life for these 200 people.
Yeah, I think it's safe. Your biology degree is shaking right now.
It's on thin ice.
This is terrible. Health pointers.
College is an employee-making machine. Hold on, I don't think we're ready for that conspiracy theory.
The only reason society tells you not to drink your urine is so all the politicians can steal it from the sewers for themselves.
Yes.
Ew.
Or they are assembling Optimus Prime underground with our urine.
Optimus Prime.
Yeah, they use our urine to oil his joints.
My neighbor's husband.
Anyway. Ooh.
That was wild.
So the journey is just starting. FYI, we're only just beginning.
But we're immediately transcended.
At this depth, the detachment from reality starts to kick in. The world you once knew begins to fall and crumble apart, but in a good kind of way. The human questions are suddenly interesting again, and you see life for what it is. The purpose is back. On to Tier 7, you're an interdimensional monk. The interdimensional monk sees the whole picture and is able to discern reality from unreality. Because of their nature, the mixture of entries around this tier is a really varied one and very difficult to comprehend. Then you're a reality hacker at Tier 8.
Hell yeah.
At extreme depths, the very structure of reality as you know it vanishes. Able to control the flow and having mastered the world and those around you, one last question remains. Can you master yourself?
Can you?
And become a man of the world in Tier 9, the final
I
understanding.
wish it was called the Master Coomer.
I know, that would be so much better.
Mm-hmm.
I might buy it. I might believe this dogma if there was a Coomer tier. It's so close. Final understanding is so close you can almost feel it. At last, you ascended, leaving behind all the conspiracies, all the mysteries, all the known and unknown. Finally, you can see past the iceberg.
See past the iceberg.
And then at Tier 0... Why can't I scroll?
So the chain is Jesus. Avatar. And then the Matrix. I don't know why that's so funny.
And then it's Hollow Man.
Yeah.
And then it's...
Because Hollow Earth.
It's the Deku tree possessed by Ganon.
Yep.
Oh no, that's a flat sapling in there. It's a pregnant tree. Everything in the end becomes true at the rebirth. So you just believe everything. Everything is true. Nothing is permitted. I think that's how it goes. So now that we're familiar with the conspiracy iceberg, we're watching Oakville Blobs. I'm guessing it's somewhere on here.
I think it is somewhere.
Can
This
we,
is where I remember hearing about it from.
This one had a lot of upvotes. This is 4chan's satire, by the way. Oh.
Oh no, you still have this available for everybody to see, just so
Whoops.
you know. Yep.
That's fine.
James doxes himself just briefly.
I mean, fucking Firefox doxed me, if anything. But,
God damn it.
Oakville Blobs.
Maybe type in conspiracy theory with it. I don't know.
I mean, I'm fine with just clicking on whatever. This one's got
Yeah, let's look at the lady.
the
Let's
top
watch
result.
Brooke.
Have you seen her content before?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. We got a magnifying glass.
Is that loud enough for you, chat?
The stories we tell from generation to generation, is
Wow,
it a
this is
ball of
great.
truth or sprinkled with innovation? You You are such a genuine gem. Thank you for clicking on my Falco
genuine
February series. I'm Brooke
gem.
McKenna.
You're
Today's
welcome.
video is going to be about the Oakville
Let's
Blobs.
get to the blobs.
Now, this one is going to baffle you so much, not only because it sounds
Take me to
absurd,
the blobs.
but also because by the end of it, you're going to be thinking that it quite possibly could be true.
Could
But
be true.
the awful thing is, we may never have this one solved. By the way, I'm posting every single day this month. There will be a playlist down below if you've missed any, and make sure to subscribe.
As far as I
and
know,
thumbs
it's a
up if you want me
documented
to
event,
continue
but
and come back
the
tomorrow
conspiracies
if you
or
want
theories
to.
around
Now let's get
it
back
are
to
what we
the
don't
story.
know if
It
it's true or
began
not.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Deadly military experiment.
That's the conspiracy theory, pretty much, right there. That the blobs that fell were.
I can
yeah.
see it. Why wouldn't they be experimenting
It's
with
really loud too.
flesh bombs?
I don't know. Let's go.
That seems
I like
effective.
that I turn it down and you turn it up.
Well, I'm trying to get the right balance between too loud for us and too quiet or too loud for the
I
viewers.
used our thing.
I know that lowers it for us, but not for
I know.
them. Just let us know if the video is too quiet or too loud.
In a town of Oakville, Washington, which had a population of 665. That's right, less than 1,000 residents in the area, and it was obviously a very
I think
tiny
most
place
places
to
in the
be
Pacific
as well.
Northwest.
But the residents here, they knew rain like the back of their hand. It rained there all of the
Like the
time.
back
They
of
weren't
their
like those
hand.
Los Angeles
Doesn't really rain here,
residents
does it?
that freak out anytime it rains because they're not used to
We
it
don't
and
live
can't
in the
even
rainy
drive
part.
in it. They basically were
Can't
pros
drive in
at
it.
it. They knew exactly how to handle it. But then one day, something different happened, and it would change the way they would look at rain forever. It was August 7th,
Forever.
1944, and it began raining.
A little dramatic, but it's probably true. If you saw this for real, every time you saw it would start raining, you'd be like, "Is it gonna rain meat again today?
Meat?
Is it gonna rain blobs
Is it gonna
again?
happen again?
Meat blobs."
But they should have been afraid of it
I
that
like this
day,
effect.
because it wasn't raining water. Tiny, translucent, gelatinous globs were falling from the sky, and it
Wild,
began
right?
at around 3 a.m. that morning. They were the size of a grain of
'Cause everybody's
rice,
out
and it
driving
was
at 3 a.m.
happening about a
What?
Because everybody's out driving at 3 a.m.
Yeah, that part of the story doesn't hold up. Like nobody's out at 3 a.m.
I know, that's my point.
Like in particular, 3 a.m. I mean, if you're in the city, that's one thing. I've been out at 3 a.m., but like in a
yeah,
town that's
Vegas?
populated by like how many people? 5,000, she said.
665.
Oh, yeah, they'd be dead.
Nobody's out.
It'd be dead.
Nobody's out.
Some people might be about to wake up.
Alice yeeted your phone across the room. Said not quite. We're
very-
digging in
that's very rude of her.
to this conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Welcome to those of you who are just hopping in.
Mm-hmm.
We're watching the Oakville Blobs. Deadly military experiment, maybe.
Maybe.
Conspiracy iceberg. You have any conspiracy theories that you think are cool? Let us know in the chat.
Tell us. Let's all join in.
And we can get hung up on it ourselves and speculate.
20 square mile radius around the town, and nobody knew why. Or did they?
Why?
There's a theory
I
that
like that pause.
someone
Why?
did, but we'll get to
Did
that
they?
later. And early that morning, an officer named David Lacey was out doing his rounds, driving around, when he noticed that it started raining, and he
Bum,
put
bum,
on his windshield
bum.
wipers, as you do, but instead of it helping, it just smeared a goo-like substance across his windshield.
That shit would
He
piss me
pulled
off so
over
much.
and he
I'd be like,
got
how
out
the fuck
to
am I
look
gonna
at
clean
it,
this off?
and it was mushy. And he began looking around, and he noticed that these little globs were everywhere.
That looks
He
freaking
put on his
sick.
gloves, and he began to pick one
Nasty.
up, and it almost squished between his fingers, as if it was
Bum, bum,
jello
bum.
falling from the sky. A sweet little old lady in
No.
the area named Dottie Heron was out
Dottie.
taking her dogs out that morning when she noticed this substance on the porch,
Poor
and she
Dottie.
thought that it was hail at first. It was little tiny ice looking things. It was a little translucent white color, and she just figured it was hail that she hadn't heard. Except when she picked one up, it squished between her fingers as well, and she automatically knew something was wrong.
This ain't rain.
Based on the thumbnails that I was seeing, I thought it was gonna be like fucking Wagyu beef in like
No.
ounces coming
It
down in
was like-
chunks.
It was like Chunky Rain.
Chunky rain, yeah. Just the
Could you
blobs that I
imagine
saw
if
were very
instead of
meaty.
Purple Rain, it was called Chunky Rain?
Chunky rain.
Sorry. Oh. I don't know why that made me laugh so hard.
That's good.
Later that day, the police officer, David
Bum,
Lacey,
bum,
he actually went to the hospital or the doctor's office because he
What?
began to feel very ill. Not only was he dizzy, but he could hardly breathe.
Did
He
he eat it?
wondered if this had anything to do with the strange globs, but he didn't want to sound crazy, so he didn't say anything. But also at that time, the resident, Dottie, who had picked up this little glob on her porch, began to get very nauseated and super dizzy. And by that afternoon, when her children got there to check on her children were adults, but they went to check on her, she was on the ground, pale, cold, and sweating, and she had been throwing up the entire day. They rushed her to the hospital, where she had to stay for 3 days, and they said that all it was simply an ear infection. Dottie's daughter had this
Ain't
eerie
that
feeling
some
that something
shit?
was very wrong, and
Did
it
you
was
read about Dottie?
I read about a few people that got really sick. I think it gets worse.
The chunky rain made them sick? Made them throw up?
Pretty much. That's the
Interesting.
idea. It gets worse.
Okay.
wasn't just an ear infection, and so she decided to take some of the globs from her mother's house to the hospital just to have them check it.
Check this
And
shit
a lab
out,
technician
please. What
found
is this?
something extremely strange. When testing these globs, he found
globs.
human white blood cells within it. He couldn't
You don't remember
explain
me telling you
why,
this?
and he knew nothing else.
Yeah, I remember.
And that is when it was sent to
I
the
think I mentioned it
Washington
on
State
stream, too.
Department of Health to do more tests. And there they found that it also contained a bacteria that was commonly found in human digestive systems. They as well knew no more than that. They could not figure out what this substance was and how in the world it fell from the sky like rain. But it did so over a period of 3 weeks, raining 6 more times. Residents in the area began getting violently ill, and they would stay ill from 7 weeks to 3 months with this nausea and this blurring of their vision, dizziness, just quite a strange illness. It was said that a large number of cats and dogs who were outside when it would rain would become sick and pass away, and one including Dottie's kitten. But that's when the theories began to come into play. People began to say that possibly it was a passing airplane that had dumped its waste
Those damn
mid-flight.
airplanes.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, somebody is playing a joke, like they're flying over and sharding out.
Even though it's got human white blood cells
Stuff.
and like intestinal bacteria, why would it have that?
In particular, it would have intestinal bacteria. If they're just
What? The plane's going over, just Putin all over Oakville.
no, there's a guy on the plane and he's dumping it out.
Like,
Says, take this, Oakville.
are you thinking about like when you were little and you thought that if you went pee on a plane that it just was released into the air? Did you think that? Because I thought that.
I think everybody thinks that at one point.
Oh, I was like, people don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works,
No.
honey.
Don't play with me. Oh my god.
No, what I was saying is like he's hanging out the window. It's like a small plane. And he's just got a bucket. Well, he's got many buckets, right? Because
Wouldn't
they're
you get
raining
like
everywhere.
sucked? I guess it's a small plane.
I don't know. It depends. But
So what? He like rolls down the window,
as for white,
puts ass up.
something like that. As for white blood cells, there's white blood cells in your poop. I'd wager. Look it up. Is there white blood cells? Do we
I
poop out white
really
blood
don't
cells?
think so. I don't think so.
But even so, like if you pooped and then you dyed it clear / white, translucent. She likes that word, translucent. and then you injected
If you
plasma
find
into
them,
it.
it's because you have really bad inflammation in your digestive tract.
Ah, so he was sick and he had inflammation, and so he just went all over Oakville. Case closed.
But it's a problem if you find it in your shit. It's a problem.
I mean, how would you even know? If
But
you
they
see
said
blood,
it was clear. Someone's
Yeah.
just up there pooping out clear shit.
No, I said they bleached it.
But it's translucent. Like rain. Like jelly rain.
That's the mystery.
Stop! Stop it.
Should we continue?
Or it's the military base that's next door.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Could be.
Yep, could be.
Let's see what she says about it.
And this was possibly just waste from the airplane. But the FAA came forward saying that they make all airplanes dye the waste blue. And these globs were translucent to the
Boom.
core. There was no color whatsoever. And so they
Maybe they messed
completely
up.
ruled that one out. But it was a year later and they still
So
had
they
no
didn't dye the waste, meaning the waste is still brown. You kind of can't make poop clear like that.
I've worked too long as a CNA to not know that. Fair enough. We have a professional on the call who this just in has said
Professional
that
hours,
you
hello.
cannot make poop translucent. Okay.
Yep. We have a trained, licensed
Clearly-
professional
clearly-
here.
My theory
Yeah. Incorrect.
is not holding up
Wrongo.
under scrutiny. Psychonauts 2 finally dropped. I do not know if I played Psychonauts 1.
No, I've never even heard of this. I'm so sorry.
I know I've heard of it. Well, you're fired.
I'll leave.
No. Fucking stop. Okay.
No, no. You did.
I don't think it was nearly that aggressive.
No, no. Just freaking throw a punch. Okay.
No.
That's not funny because you've done that to me before in your sleep.
In my sleep, that doesn't count.
James goes full John Cena.
Okay.
answers.
That's why I
Dottie
sleep so well. He just
fortunately
knocks me out
became
cold.
better, and she had kept a kind of a bowl of glob that had fell from the sky in her fridge, and she took
A
it
bowl
to
of
a
glob.
lab
Is that what
herself
she
to
said?
get tested
Sorry.
in her fridge. And
Back
she
before that.
a kind of a bowl of glob
Oh,
that had
bowl
fell
of
from the
glob.
sky
A
in
bowl
her
of
fridge.
glob would have been a
And
little
she
bit
took
better.
it to a lab herself to get it tested once again. And this test revealed that it had a eukaryotic cell, meaning that it had once been alive, and many thought it was an animal. Some even believed that the Air Force was testing different bombs in the ocean, and they had come across a colony of star jellyfish in the Pacific Ocean. And when this bomb erupted, it sent all of these jellyfish in pieces over onto the land in Oakville as though it was raining. But the Air Force denied any involvement in it whatsoever, even though they did
That
confirm
far?
they
So it
How far inland is Oakville?
So if this is Oakville and this is where the bomb is going off, you're telling me that it splashed so high up that it was like blown over into Oakville?
I'm gonna see how ridiculous this
What?
is. Dude, Oakville is like, what is that, 20 miles inland?
Holy shit, it would have had to blast it 20 miles? No.
It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, it might be more like 60 miles inland.
Good boy, matey. You're such a good boy. Actually, he has been a very bad boy today. He broke into his cousin's room, into Skinny P's room, and
all
ate
this food.
all of his food today. He was a naughty boy.
He was given many timeouts.
Yes, he was. Anyway. Play.
I'm
Play.
trying to read
Ugh.
what Rowan said here.
Rowan, eukaryotic just means it has complex organelles / a nucleus. Prokaryotic cells are also alive, just less complex and organized.
Ah, more you know.
I like Devil's Point about the clear vomit. So I think that guy just rolled down the plane on his window. Too many don't. You know how they write words in the sky?
Yeah.
With their chemtrails? Right?
Yeah.
Made himself sick doing too many loop-de-loops.
Sure. You'd have to vomit a lot for it to for people to have samples of it.
For a 20-mile radius.
It would just have to be. It would have to be so much vomit. I guess the poop theory doesn't hold up under that kind of scrutiny either, but whatever. There's a fossil bed made entirely of ash hundreds of miles from the nearest volcano.
Well, a lot of ash can get carried in the wind and travel super far. Like when we had the wildfires last year on the West Coast, a ton of the ash from the fires in Southern California were blown all the way up here, giving us the worst air quality on the planet for almost a month.
The notion that they blew up a bomb big enough
and blew the
jellies into the atmosphere, and then they came and rained down inland 60 miles away is pretty flimsy to me. But I'm not...
So far, it's the best explanation of the two.
I guess. I'm not a meteorologist, so I don't know. I mean, I've never seen what happens to
Did they
the
test
water.
any of these? Did they get one of these jellyfishies and test what it's like?
Well, that's the thing. How long ago did this happen? Nobody had, an iPhone?
No, I think this was in the 20th century.
Oh.
Before iPhones.
It says 1994. You tell me nobody took a photo of this shit? Nobody? Not a one? Oh, this is just the city. I thought there was a Wikipedia page for the incident. I mean, it must be in, the footnotes, right? Culture. Notable people. Man, they don't even have a section dedicated to their blobs.
You'd think they'd have a section dedicated to their blobs.
Yeah, that would... It would give it more credibility to me.
They were doing tests at the time. But residents of the area had an even deeper theory with that, because they said right before this rain began, they had seen multiple different military aircraft flying over their little town. They were all black, and it was either bombers or helicopters, and
I like that she got
they
some super
obviously
high
made
quality
quite a
images
loud
from this.
noise, and people
I shouldn't
noticed them for
criticize.
it being such a random area, that doesn't see much.
I like that she put
And
this
so
together.
they
Thank
really
you.
noticed it and honed in on it. And some believed that aircraft, or some of them,
Don't
had
laugh at
dropped
me.
these globs over this town.
I think all those guys, they all leaned out their
Singled them
windows
out
together. They're like,
completely.
we
And
vomited
the most
3.
common theory was that this was some sort of biological
For the company!
experiment to weaponize a substance and to test it out over a small town that wouldn't affect too many people if it went wrong. Because, you see, if something like this were to happen, and they would need to use some sort of biological weapon somewhere in another country, they want to make sure it works. But to do that, they needed to test it. So what do? They take it to a tiny town where they have the
tiny
least
town.
casualties that they could
like the
possibly have in
alliteration.
case something goes
Bola blob would've
very
been good
wrong.
too.
I didn't get an exact count on how many died, on if any actual humans died, only that the animals did. But the unfortunate thing is this
You
may
would've
never
eaten
be
it,
solved
Marty.
because
You
all of the
dum-dum.
globs are now
would've totally
gone.
eaten it.
There's nothing more to...
Oh, 100%. All those dogs, I mean, that Mighty would
They were all mighties
One of the ones that
out
bit
there
it.
just gobbling that shit up.
Yeah. I really like Not Quite's description here. Carpet bombing, living jello shots. That's like a great band name.
Yeah. Ooh, call it. You gotta
Sit on that
dibs
one.
on it. Oh,
I can't take dibs. I didn't say that shit.
yeah. Fair
But
enough.
if you don't take it, I might take it.
test. But is this story even true? I'm sure you were thinking that from the very beginning, and so was I. It sounds completely out there, and of course, if there are conspiracy theorists, there are always going to be the ones who try to debunk it. And there were, in this case, those people. And they found that on the reports, these blobs were reported to not have nuclei, meaning they weren't white human blood cells. And there was also no mention of any sort of bacteria from our digestive systems. this. There is also no knowledge of if this plague ever really did happen with all of these people getting sick in Oakville, other than some of the residents' testimonies, which they have gone on camera for. There was an Unsolved Mysteries on this, and they went on saying that this did happen, that they did get sick. Many people in the area did. But
pretty much
other
everybody
than
around
that,
town
there
was
was
like,
none
"You
from
fucking
back when it
liars."
actually happened that was written out. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's not true. And Dottie's cat, which she said was killed by this rain, was found to have intestinal problems before this even happened, and some say that that's the reason her cat died, but nobody really knows for sure, and she says that it was the rain. Now, there was a picture that I put in the thumbnail, and I'll put here, that circulated around as far as what these globs looked like, and everybody, of course, when you see a picture like that, and I'm sure you did too, you were like, said
It's
that
like
that
there's
was
giant
their
semen
looked like, and
there.
everybody, of course, that
Giant
circulated around.
semen.
Hey, you see his little tail right here.
Oh my god.
Like, what are these little seeds in there? They're semen seeds.
Human seeds.
I guess this is pretty
So it
translucent.
should be semen.
But there's clearly, I mean, unless that's like little pieces of like green peas or something, then there could be. It's poop infused Jello shots.
Without hard evidence now, people could say it's mass hysteria. Like the dancing plague. Did you know about that?
The dancing plague.
Wait, you actually didn't know about that?
No.
Look it up right now. Sorry. Quick tangent. I mean, this whole stream's all tangents. So.
It's a tangent of conspiracy theories. The dancing plague of 1518. What? The dancing epidemic of, hold on. Yeah, 1518. Or dancing plague or dancing epidemic of 1518. It was a case of dancing mania that occurred in
France.
modern day France in the Holy Roman Empire from July to September of the same year. Somewhere between 50 and 400 people took to dancing for days. The outbreak began when a woman began to dance fervently in a street in Strasbourg. By early September, the outbreak began to subside.
People actually died. I don't know why it doesn't list that.
Controversy exists over whether people ultimately danced to their deaths. Some sources claim that for a period, the plague killed around 15 people per day. I mean, it's in Wikipedia, so it must be true.
Isn't that wild? Did you guys know about that? If you didn't, you're welcome.
I don't know if I had heard about that before. I feel like it rings a bell, but as to the specifics, nope. Eat it for science. I mean, I'd shoot it for science if I could get my hands on some, but
shoot it for science.
Yeah, just see what happens. Maybe it was some kind of fancy C4. Somebody said that these are frog eggs in there.
Like little tadpoles.
In this photo. In fact, all of it is frog eggs. I could see that. That makes more sense than fucking blob
They do look like little tadpoles.
shit raining from the sky. Yeah. So she found this photo and thought this might be the blobs.
Apparently.
But they're really frog eggs. If I look up frog eggs,
Oh no. Frog eggs. Ooh!
seems reasonable.
Straight up. It rained frog eggs.
So, but
Oh
how
god,
does,
I really hate looking at it.
how does that help? How does that help the military test things? Oh, you can really see it here. You can see their little faces growing. Here, this is a not so bad picture because you can see their faces in there.
Thank you.
That's wild. So I guess the black stuff is like the yolk, and then they turn into tadpoles. Anyway, I could believe that more than I could believe that it was a fleshy blob.
Yeah.
that
It rained
fell from
frog
the
eggs
sky.
over Oakville.
Yeah. Maybe somebody was... There was like a guy who just had so many frog eggs, and he just dumped a tank of them. Many tanks of them.
All the tanks.
Yes.
I mean, it rains a lot up there, so.
Right. the military was turning the frogs gay. It all makes sense.
Around as far as what these globs looked like, and everybody, of course, when you see a picture like that, and I'm sure you did too, you were like, oh my gosh, there's picture proof. And that's what a lot of people thought. But it said that that was completely debunked, and that this picture is actually of northwestern salamander eggs, and it was not the globs at all. But do you believe this theory? Do you think this is some crazy unsolved mystery, or simply a story that has gone throughout the years, an urban legend of sorts? I don't know. When I saw the unsolved
20 years
mysteries
ago?
on it, it just kind of made it more real, and the
An
people
urban
talking
legend
about
from 20 years ago?
I think urban legends have to be a little older than that.
Yeah. That was my point. I guess actually no, that's like 30 years ago now, isn't it?
It would be 27.
Yeah.
It was 94.
So like 30 years ago.
Yeah, if you want to round up. Technically, I was born 30 years ago, if you want to use that logic.
I know.
I'm 30 years
I
old.
said it and then I realized, and I immediately was like, oh, I have to brace myself.
I'm done.
Looks like we're playing Skyrim.
Just like that, huh? I guess
Just
you wouldn't
like
mind
that.
that much. You enjoy Skyrim so much.
it really just seemed like normal people who were talking from experience rather than needing fame or coming up with something crazy. But of course, anything can be staged, and you can't be too sure of anything in this world. So who really knows? But Oakville, in honor of this, actually thought about making a jellyfish festival where they would all go to the bars and drink the jellyfish drink, which had vodka, gelatin, and juice in it, to kind of, honor what had happened and to keep the story
Jellyfish
alive, or the experience alive. But I would really love to know your thoughts on this, and if you think
That's
this was
fucking funny.
I really want to.
Jello shots to keep the memory alive.
I want to drive up to this town and find a guy there that's like sitting outside of a bar. And it was always that guy.
Yeah, sitting
Sitting
out,
outside the
smoking
bar.
a cigarette.
You're like, hey, so what do you know about the blobs? And then he just goes real still, quiet. And he looks at me and says, "My pappy, my pappy's seen to the blobs. He was there when they fell." And he tells me the whole story, the
Stop.
whole thing. Why?
His pappy,
Yeah,
like grandpappy,
yeah. It's not as interesting if he was like,
in
yeah,
1994.
yeah. It wouldn't be.
If this is the person that I'm imagining, they saw it for themselves and can remember it just fine.
Well, that wouldn't be as interesting.
Ooh.
It wouldn't be nearly as
Okay,
interesting
then you need
if
to
he was
say
like, yeah, I saw that shit.
1894. My great grandpappy.
It was crazy, but it wasn't gelatin. It was just some dirty rain or something like that.
Dirty rain that made everybody sick and killed their animals.
You know, what they describe sounds a lot like eggs that have been like partially frozen to me.
Partially.
The way they appear,
What do you mean?
they become like translucent and shiny, and then when you pick them up, they're like,
They do? You
Gooey.
can like see the yellow inside the yolk? Or what?
if it was just egg whites,
You could see all the way through it?
yeah,
What?
yeah.
Did you guys know this? Maybe they peppered some egg whites, mashed it up, and dumped it out.
Like it's milky-ish, right? But yeah,
Take that, Oakville!
if they took
Ooh.
millions of egg whites and dumped it on the city of Oakville just to see, and then they got salmonella, boom, case closed.
Oh, that's big brain right there. But I thought animals could have eggs. I guess raw egg whites is bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
That would make sense. When things get that high in the clouds, they would freeze.
I'm not a doctor.
So some guy, some angry dude on a plane, threw out a bunch of egg whites over the city of Oakville. Conspiracy solved.
You're welcome.
So the title of this video, of this stream rather, should be Solving
Solving
Conspiracy Theories.
conspiracies. I'm changing it. I like that a lot. We're progressing.
Theorists. Solving Conspiracy Theorists.
Shut up.
Ooh.
Silence. I demand silence. The time that it rained jelly and bent the earth. What?
Bent the earth.
Oh, this is more
Every day.
of an interesting title. Oh, it's like a
I think it's 2 in 1.
it's like a straight up well produced
Every day.
High-
Sorry, I shouldn't make fun. I
high
need to
budget
stop
effort
making
here.
fun of the voice.
He's got like stock footage. It's impressive. Tornado plus frog eggs equals tadpole.
Hey,
rain.
no, there's no tornadoes up here. I know that sounds weird, but there's no tornadoes up here. They just don't happen. And if they do, they take out a barn. It's more like a whirlwind.
A slightly angry dirt devil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
A really angry dirt devil. There's no tornadoes here. Which is great because tornadoes are my biggest natural disaster fear. The fact that the sky can just be like, get fucked, little people. And then what?
I like the sound effect.
That's what I think is happening.
Who knows? I don't even know if this is about the same thing, but I'm interested by the title and the production value. So let's see what's going on here.
Science discovers something new that shapes our world. Whether it's an invention
Shapes
or a
our
previously
world.
absent puzzle piece of human history, it all helps us understand the planet a little bit more. However, sometimes there's no such explanation for the discovery. Sometimes scientists can only speculate on what, how, or why a phenomenon
All the bent
happens. In
trees.
fact, some discoveries can create more questions than they answer. Today, we're going to take a look at those
More
instances where
questions
science is
than
left
the
scratching its head
answer.
in confusion as they stare at a new discovery. Looking at these massive axes, it's easy to think that giants once roamed the Earth. These axes are believed to have been created by the Minoan race between 1700 BC and 1300 BC. The Minoans are a Bronze Age European race that were incredibly
Nephilim.
advanced for their time. These axes in particular were found on the island of Crete, just off the coast of Greece. These types of axes are specifically known as labrys. It's believed that labrys is the
Labrys.
extinct Lydian word for double-bitted axe. The reason why these giant axes were made is unclear. For the average person, there's no easy way to wield such a gigantic weapon. It would have
Whoa,
been
that
pretty
looks dope.
useless in a
That does look
battle.
pretty dope.
While some
Does look
believe this
pretty
is
dope.
proof that giants existed, scientists
Very
have
dope.
other theories, one of which is that axes
lot
were
of
made
the
with a blessing to a
conspiracy theories on
god
the
popular in the
conspiracy
Minoan
theory
era. Another is that
iceberg.
Hold
axes
up.
were used for
Start over.
A lot of the conspiracy theories on the conspiracy theory iceberg have to do with giants, actually. And that the earth is hollow and the giants went there to live. And the giants are all super white with bright blue eyes. And that's why the Nazis did what they did. So, and then they went to find the center of the earth. And that's why Hitler disappeared, because he found the center of the earth and now he lives with his
His
giants
giant people.
that are in the Arctic. The tunnel. That's literally all the conspiracy theory goes.
The tunnel.
There's,
The tunnel.
and that's why they don't want you going to the Arctic.
Wow, it couldn't just be because the Arctic is fucking cold. It has to be because Hitler's up there down the ladder.
No, the Arctic is just always cold, but that's the way it's hidden. They don't want you going there, not because it's cold, but because that's
Bigfoot
where the
is down
tunnel,
there
the tunnel to the center
with
of the
Hitler.
earth. Yeah.
There was a giant, though. It was like Gigantopithecus or something.
Andre the Giant.
No. Human giant species.
Nephilim.
It is Gigantopithecus. Wow, I can't believe I got that shit right.
Holy shit. James is a giant believer. Wow, I like that you're typing it in all caps.
Gigantopithecus. This feller
I've never heard of this.
is the real deal. Gigantopithecus is an extinct genus of ape from the early to middle Pleistocene of southern China. Used to be here, is not no more. There's his mandible. Couldn't have been alive back in 1700 BC. So probably didn't use these axes unless they were just hiding out. You know, maybe the last one died in Crete. But massive. 440 to 660 pounds.
Ooh.
a gorilla-like ape. The largest molars of any known ape.
That's wild.
That's its molar, yo. That's enormous.
I don't know. I was expecting bigger, not gonna lie.
600 pounds isn't big enough for you?
No, just the molar. I was expecting larger
Oh.
molars. I like that they gave him a smiley face.
It looks like a giant orangutan.
You see that? They gave
Yeah.
him a smile.
I guess they are most closely related to orangutans. That's pretty cool. I doubt that this guy's ancestor was slinging trees around, though, for Crete. So I don't know how you explain it.
Did y'all know that the last woolly mammoths were still around when the pyramids were built? Woolly mammoths helped build the pyramids.
Ooh, that's a good theory. I don't know
That's
how they
my
would
new
have
theory.
survived in Egypt where it's all hot.
They
though.
helped drag the big rocks.
Those are some very loyal mammoths.
Yeah.
It's
There's actually some crazy shit about the pyramids if you look into it too, like how they're spaced
I bet.
apart, and I don't know, it's just pretty crazy.
Gigantopithecus is exactly what Bigfoot is based off of.
Oh, so people think that there's just a Gigantopithecus walking around in the woods somewhere, like one.
Like they're still hanging out and they're just in hiding, but you know it would be pretty hard to miss a 600-pound orangutan.
We are solving all of the world's conspiracy.
Oh, they could have just used.
Conspiracy theories.
They could have just used regular elephants. That's a good point.
No,
somehow.
it had to be the mammoths.
How much bigger are mammoths?
That's why the
than
mammoths went extinct.
regular elephants. Mammoth. Well, I can spell real good.
I hope they all saw mammoth to elephant.
I'm never gonna break around here. You try it. Here we go. Yo, mammoths were pretty fucking
Mammoths
big.
were bigger. Go
wait a
mammoths.
minute.
Oh wait, no, that one's even bigger.
Interesting. Truth needs a champion. Nope.
No. Look right here. Right here.
Oh.
Dude, go mammoth or go
Oh,
home.
what the fuck? Go mammoth or go home?
I said what I said.
Can I just like see the photo? Thank you. So here's a picture of a mammoth walking next to a human. That can't be right.
I don't know, dude.
That's
Believe
like,
everything you see on the internet. That's my only advice to you. And dude, its trunk, it would just swing it around and knock you out.
how could we have killed off? Humans are resourceful, but I don't believe that we could have stabbed this motherfucker to death. 5 meters tall.
Mammoths helped build the pyramids. I'm telling you.
It all connects. Well, 29 feet long and 17 feet at the shoulder, the biggest mammoth ever found. However, it's possible the fragmentary nature of the original will prove a smaller size.
Where did they live? Where are mammoths from?
Cold.
Cold?
Yeah.
I guess that's fair. It's an ice age, and ice age is the whole planet's cold. What?
But I think they stayed wherever it was colder. I would think.
And it's got the freaking Everybody Loves Raymond voice. Sorry.
Get a load of this. Hey, Clash, I used to watch you while I procrastinated on homework, but now I'm watching you while I evade my taxes. Keeping the dream alive, buddy.
Go you.
But pay those taxes. There's actually consequences for not doing your taxes. Whereas with homework, the consequence is
Your teacher don't like you.
your teacher tries to make you feel bad about yourself, and you say, "Fuck you," and he's like, "All right."
I never told a teacher fuck you.
I started to tell them "fuck you" by the end of it.
You did?
Not in so many words. I don't know if I ever. I would say "fuck this" and "fuck that" pretty often.
In class? Loudly? Like in high school? Really?
In college, yeah.
Oh, in college. That's different. 'cause
Both.
you're-
I got away with it more in college.
I never did anything like that.
I was an attention whore.
I was a goody
apparently,
two
so
shoes.
I can't keep my mouth
You
shut.
were an attention whore, and I was a teacher's pet.
I can't. I can't help but.
That's
be-
it.
Be a real cunt.
That's a wonderful way to put it.
James, I'm glad you finally said it out loud.
I never could put it into words. You know, you just.
Just hit the cunt on the hair cunt, cut hair. You just rip the hair out of the cunt.
Just rip the hair out of the cock.
Getting belligerent.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
A bull would be over 13 feet at the shoulder and weigh over 10 tons. Wow.
Wow. Mammoths helped build the pyramids. Everybody.
Oh, it says that right here.
It says it somewhere? What?
No.
Oh.
Somebody responded on Quora and went, yes, they helped build the pyramids.
Did you know?
Did you know?
Mammoths helped build the pyramids.
It's like Barack Obama announcing.
Did you know?
Did you know, my fellow Americans, that the mammoths helped build the pyramids?
That was pretty good. Good job, James.
Okay, that's it for that.
Okay.
Jelly raining on the earth. Wow, we got off track,
Mammoths? Yeah.
didn't we? Rough stuff.
Axes were made with a
This is how we
blessing to a
make sure our
god
video gets
popular in the
marked as
Minoan
fair
era,
use
and
and
others
doesn't
that
get
axes were
copyrighted,
used for a
if anything.
ceremony,
Totally,
specifically
it's gonna
involving
work.
sacrifices to the gods. But other theories point towards
Sacrifices to
large
the
axes being some
gods.
sort of status symbol. Regardless, no one knows exactly what they were created for just yet. Within the Sahara
A single
Desert lies
mammoth
the
would
Tanur
be so
Desert.
much
Within
goddamn
this
food.
desert
It
is
would
the
be.
area Dubus in the country of Niger. Dubus is the location of a mass collection of ancient petroglyphs carved into rock along an old trading
That's
route.
pretty good.
Altogether, there are 828 carvings, most of
Wow.
which are of animals. Near the Air Mountains are perhaps the most famous carving, the
So
Dubus
are they in some
giraffes. They were
unreachable
believed to have been
place?
completed around 8000 BC, yet they weren't discovered
What?
until 1987.
That
The
is
largest
pretty dope.
giraffe carving
That's
is
why it would
18
be
feet
cool to be an
tall. Both
archaeologist
giraffes have
to
a
be
lump.
out there discovering shit like this.
Yeah.
But as you so sweetly pointed out while we were watching Jurassic Park, it's that like none of them get to do that. It's
Yeah.
not
A very small percentage. It's like the number of guys.
And that would be the only reason why I'd want to get into it.
Yeah, it's like the number of guys and girls who get into wanting to be an astronaut.
Yeah.
There have only been like what 200 astronauts.
I want to be
It's
an
it's easier to
astronaut when I
be
was
to
little.
play in the NHL, the National Hockey League, or any sports team. It's easier. You're more likely to become a professional athlete than you are to become an astronaut. I think. Don't quote me on that.
I mean, probably.
It seems plausible just because it's such a fucking impossible thing, and I feel like you just become a robot at that
Just
point.
whack my chair with your chair?
You'll be fine.
What if I'm not?
You'll be fine. Anyway, getting off track again.
Line from their mouth area that extends to a human-like figure below. This could be a sign that the ancient race that created the carvings had domesticated the long-necked creatures. The other reason for the line could be that giraffes were hunted by the humans. However, scientists aren't sure exactly. Some
Poor
suggestions
mammoth.
believe that
Dude,
carvings
that
were
looked like a
created for
scene straight out of Ice Age. Not gonna lie. That little tidbit that they just
The
played.
glyphs.
Yeah, of them spearing the
Yeah.
mammoth. I remember there being a scene like that in Ice Age.
You're probably right.
for religious reasons. Is the location honoring animals, especially giraffes? Or was it
I
used
want
as
a
a
pet giraffe
diary?
now. Sorry.
You can't.
The
can't
way
do
you
that.
pause it and just look at me.
A pet giraffe.
Like, shut the fuck up. You know, we could always compromise and you can give me a bunny.
Of what was once the ancient people's culture. We may never know. Very little information exists about this particular
Cthulhu.
tablet. All that the person that found it has said is that they
Tablet.
discovered it by the coast. For those
It's
that are
got
fans
Davy
of H.P.
Jones on it.
Lovecraft, the image on the tablet may look rather familiar. It strikes a remarkable resemblance to Cthulhu. The creature made its debut in Lovecraft's
Davy
short story The
Jones.
Call of Cthulhu in 1928. Cthulhu
Davy
is a great
Jones.
old
Turns out,
Davy Jones.
I remember when I first watched the second Pirates.
Do you feel death?
And he does that whole thing. I remember wondering, why did they make him a fucking squid?
We saw a couple scenes from Pirates of the Caribbean while we were in Kauai.
Yes, that was another thing that happened in Kauai. We saw some of the shooting locations that they used.
For like hundreds of movies.
Yeah. And it makes sense because it's like there's no other place on Earth like it. So.
Giraffe is horse snake. I agree with this assertion. Thank you, Devil. Yes.
A horse snake.
Horse snake.
I like
Yes.
Old one, which is a type of deity. Cthulhu resembles a cross between an octopus, a dragon, as well as a human. It's said
What?
to slumber under the Pacific
Sorry,
Ocean.
pause.
However, we don't know why.
A giraffe only has 7 bones in his neck?
That would explain a lot, actually.
Wait, I want to see a giraffe skeleton. Can you?
Yeah, I can bring it up.
Thank you. What?
They're like very long, twisty bones
Twisty bones.
that help it achieve immense height, it looks like.
Twisty bones confirmed. 1, 2, 3. Oh,
Holy crap.
I was counting those.
Well, I'm trying to get like a clear picture for the audience here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, you're right.
That's wild.
Wow. They only have to count C1 through 7.
It is such a strange animal. Big ass neck.
Big ass neck.
They look hilarious trying to drink.
Well, now we have to see that. Giraffe. Giraffe, try to drink.
You know what? I've had just about enough of you.
You cannot have enough of me. That's impossible.
Illegal.
Yeah, we gotta turn this music off, otherwise it'll get...
Otherwise the whole stream will be shut down.
And plus, I mean, there wasn't even nature sounds. It's not like we can hear the giraffe drinking the water. Can we, like, speed this up? Can we go 2 times speed?
Apparently he's a little nervous about it.
This is a shy water drinker.
They might all be shy water
You know-
drinkers. Oh no. He has to spread his legs so far just to get a drink of water.
Oh, no!
That is insane.
No, why? Wait, this makes me like oddly sad. I feel a little uncomfortable. But
We figured it out. Man, giraffes are fucking cool.
that's wild.
They're right up there with octopuses. Octopussies? Octopi?
Octopussies? Is that really what you just said?
Octopi?
Octopussies. They're right up there with my favorite animal, the octopus.
In terms of just like how weird and cool they are. Have I seen 2 male giraffes fight? Now
Okay.
you just want us to like watch animals fight.
Okay,
on
but I
screen.
want to see that.
Why have knees if they can't bend them for drinking? I'm
Right?
guessing they don't want to be caught like on the floor. They want to be able to quickly, get to a running start if a predator approaches. But
They have to know they're safe before they try to drink. Aww.
yeah, and I imagine it's just really hard. Like you're so used to your situational awareness being up here and not
Yeah.
down here.
A lion could come out from anywhere at any moment.
Seems like a fatal flaw in the design of a giraffe.
Why this particular tablet exists. Lovecraft could have
me
made the
wonder
book
why they
appear as
exist a
fiction when
little
in
bit.
reality,
What?
Makes me wonder why they exist a little bit.
Aliens.
Cthulhu is very real. Perhaps it was created by one of the many cults that
Cthulhu
Lovecraft
is
states
super
worships the
real.
ancient being. Or perhaps the person that took these images just created the tablet as an elaborate hoax. They could be big fans of Lovecraft's
just,
work
like,
and wanted
art.
to create something to highlight that. Or maybe, just
You know,
maybe,
we
the
draw
legend
some
of
weird
Cthulhu
shit
is
all the
real.
time.
Every so often, Mother Nature likes to keep us humans on our toes with weird weather. We're not talking about the film Sharknado.
Yes,
Instead,
jelly
we're talking
rain.
about real, clear, gelatinous rain. In
Gelatinous
Oakville, Washington in
rain.
1994, the residents
Yay.
saw jelly rain fall from the sky.
Jelly
Within a few
rain.
hours,
Jelly
people began to
rain.
develop strong flu-like symptoms that lasted for up to 3 months. Even
Except
cats and
it's just
dogs were
frozen
severely
egg.
affected by this bizarre rain. One
Poor
resident collected the jelly rain and and took it to the laboratory at a local hospital. The technicians found human white blood cells in the jelly.
Except
Further
there
tests were
weren't.
conducted that found 2 types of bacteria present in it, one of which was commonly found in the human digestive system. Another test found eukaryotic cells, which suggest the substance was alive at some point, while some others believe the jelly is waste accidentally released from a passing airplane. Ugh. Others believe the army was conducting weapons tests in the
Had to be
ocean
the
that
army.
fired jellyfish into the sky. Yet the army denies this being the case. However, no one knows for sure what this jelly rain is exactly or how it got
They
there.
denied, but
Out in the-
it was them.
I mean, of all of the things it could be, spread jellyfish.
6
the most
times
sense.
over 3 weeks. You think that like they blew up the jellies once and saw it over Oakville and be like, oh shit, you know, there's jelly debris all over the town making people sick. Guess we better do this 5 more times. What? You know,
Yeah.
in my humble opinion, that's all. You know.
I guess that's all he spends. So all the time he spends talking about raining jelly.
Siberian wilderness lies a
He's
massive crater
hitting,
and
like,
nobody knows how
conspiracy
it got
theory
there.
after
It was founded in
conspiracy
1948 by
theory.
Vadim
Just boom,
Kolpakov.
boom,
He found
boom.
a cone-shaped limestone mound with a crater on top. Within the
What?
crater is another mound. The Potimsky crater is named
Mounds on
Fire
mounds on
Eagle
mounds.
Nest by the locals. Potimsky crater has a diameter of 520 feet and its height
What?
is 139 feet. Surrounding
What
the
the
area is a
fuck?
forest, yet the crater has been there for
Tiny
around 500
Vesuvius.
years, but no trees have grown on top of the mound. Even animals avoid the suspicious hill. One of the possible
we have
theories is that
lava
the mound was
flows
created
and,
by a meteorite. Some of the
no
trees show
plants grow
evidence
in the
of
lava flows
amplified
either.
growth that could be due to radiation, something similar to what happened in Chernobyl.
true.
But others believe that radiation is from a buried nuclear plant or aliens at work again.
It's
Another
gotta be
theory is that it could be
aliens.
caused by a volcano.
Aliens
yet no
again.
volcanic
That's with the
material has
mound
been
in the
found
mound.
nearby. The
Aliens
likely
living
theory
there.
is that it was caused by a gas volcano as hydrogen was released underground, but still, it's just a theory. Within the Zhenjiang province of China lies the
Okay.
Longyu Caves. For centuries, they were hidden by water until 1992 when a villager drained the pools to get fish and found the caves. Yet strangely, there was no fish in the water.
What?
The
That's
Longyu
pretty
Caves
dope.
are a series of intricate caves with no record of their construction in any historical writings. They're believed to have been created over
What?
2,000 years ago. Researchers
that's
have
just dope
estimated
as
that it would
hell.
have taken 1,000 people working day and night for 6 years to complete the system of caves. However, due to the carvings and writings on the walls, it's likely that it would have taken even
I think
longer.
he is
Yet
doing
this
like
amount of work
everything
makes it seem
theory.
strange
Yes,
that they're
Rowan.
It's fucking absurd.
Dude, Longview Caves. Honey, look at the way mine is looking at me right now. Sorry. just
He
keeps
seems pretty wiped
staring.
out finally.
Are you chill? Are you chill?
Giraffes practically take a parachute dive when they're born. Yeah, I think I've seen that
Ooh.
happen.
You have? I have not. I want to see
Yeah.
that.
Like they hit the ground running too. It's fucking weird.
So they go out head first, but they hit the ground running. Excuse me.
I mean, they might not literally hit the ground running, but they basically start sprinting as soon as they're out of
I
the
think they
birth
hit the
canal.
ground and they're concussed. Takes them a moment and they're like, ah! Ah!
I mean, I'm sure that happens sometimes. You can't.
That's messed up.
Not
You shouldn't be
all
laughing at
giraffes
that.
are
Poor
born the
giraffes.
same way. Occasionally, they might, chill out for a second, but I think they have to start running.
Lead used to be the base of most makeups. They used to put like some type of poison in green wallpaper, like the dye used to make green wallpaper.
Yeah.
And so in English homes, I think this was like in the 19th century, and all these people kept getting sick, and they're like, "Oh, we can't figure out why," because green wallpaper was super stylish or some shit.
No.
Yeah, it was the wallpaper.
Someone should have caught that ahead of time.
Yeah, I think people died. Okay.
Someone really should have caught that ahead of time.
Yeah. Well,
no
it
re-
was the 1800s, so
No accountability.
nope.
Record of the caves. Some people believe it was made as a tomb for an emperor, but there's no funeral items present. Some believe it was
It's
used
too
for
dope
mining,
on
but the
the
carvings on
inside
the
to
wall
be a
make this
tomb.
unlikely.
Plus, they
It
like
could
to
have been a stopping place for troops, but the
install
caves would have
skulls
taken
in
many,
those
many
tombs.
years to build. The Longview Caves are one of the biggest riddles in the world. Across
I feel like it's just some fancy place underground that some douche king made his people build. He's like, I need something dedicated to me, so make a tunnel, cavern, church.
But why would there be no record of it?
Bad record keeping. It's not that hard for me to believe that they'd be bad at keeping records about what
2,000
they're
years
building
ago.
2,000
But
years
they
ago.
build something as intricate as that and not keep a record of it. I'd be telling all my friends. I'd be like, yo, look at this.
Yeah,
Word.
he killed everybody who built it. I feel like that's plausible. But I don't know. I don't know shit.
Yeah, what do you know?
Like, what do they even call it? The Long U Caverns? Is that what?
Caves. The
Caves?
Long U Caves. I mean, that we don't know if that's the official name because there's no record of it.
Yeah. They can't infer anything.
I
I
don't
guess
know what
there's
it
no
was for.
text in there. That is interesting.
It was underground.
Yeah.
Giant bathhouse.
It looked kind of like
Because
it had
there
that
were,
vibe.
dude, there were bathhouses on bathhouses on bathhouses in Pompeii. There were a bunch of bathhouses. People just love to take baths together.
What about in China?
I don't know. I haven't been.
Well, that's where those caves are.
I know. I'm just
So,
saying. In Greece, they had lots of bathhouses.
I could believe it. It looked, I mean, it was by the water too. It was underwater or whatever.
I thought the terracotta army was there to scare off another army that was coming to fight, and he didn't have enough soldiers, so he built the terracotta army to look like he had tons of soldiers.
Sounds familiar.
I thought that's what the story was.
Let's finish this.
Across Europe lie many ancient ruins of fortresses. However, the vitrified fortresses are one that bring with them a
Vitrified
lot of
fortresses?
mystery. Many of these special fortresses are based in Scotland and are dated between
Ooh,
700 and 300
Jimmy, your
BC.
family.
In 1777, John
Thy
Williams, a
homeland.
geologist, not the Star Wars composer, first found these ruins. What makes these ruins strange is the fact that, in places, the stones in the wall have fused together. Some of the rocks have even turned into glass, complete with trapped
What?
air bubbles. In order to create this, the stone must have experienced extremely high pressure and temperature over time, something unlikely for that time period, especially as scientists have likened the force required to an atomic bomb. The reason for this vitrification has sparked many theories. Some have said it could have been due to volcanic activity in the area. Some others have said it might have been due to deconstruction of the fort by enemies. Some have stated that it could have been due to a ritual of some kind. Some have said that fires may have been deliberately created in order to strengthen the fort, but others argue this actually weakens the structure. On Mount Baigong, near the city of Dalinga, China, lives a collection of caves. Within one of these caves, the Baigong pipes were found. The mountain itself is described as resembling a pyramid. Originally, the pipes were said to have been discovered by
What?
Americans looking for dinosaur fossils, but instead, dozens of upright iron pipe formations were located inside the cave. The pipes have a diameter from between 4 to 16 inches. Research has
pipes, though,
determined
they
that
seem
8% of
filled,
the material in the pipes
which
couldn't
means
have been identified. Some tests have even shown these pipes to be highly radioactive. They're also dated to be around 150,000 years old. Some tests have pointed to the pipes being fossilized roots of trees. Yet other scientists
Ooh,
believe the
yeah,
pipes
that
are
does look
iron-rich
like it.
magma that solidified as the magma rose from the Earth's core. Now, of course, another theory points to extraterrestrial life being responsible. However, one theory points to an intelligent civilization, one that was wiped away long before humans became the dominant species on Earth.
I don't know
The
how,
Baigong
but the
pipes is
pipes
an
were built
enigma
by
that gets
mammoths.
weirder and weirder with more
Just like the
research.
pyramids.
Dancing Forest. Within the Curonian Spit
Oh, yeah.
between Russia and
You
Lithuania.
know, that shit does not look like pipes to me, but the fact that they're 150,000 years old, if they really are pipes, is cool. What that looked like to me was Devil's Post Pile, which I've actually seen in person.
Whoa, it does look like that.
It's, I mean, one of the pictures he used was this one.
Pipes.
It looks like,
pipes.
and it's not. It's not pipes. It's like a natural formation.
No, it's pipes.
You know, you
Did you see that?
believe-
Wait, look at images. No. Go up a little bit. Up. Look at the top. Do you see that? Mammoth.
That's because it's in Mammoth
No, it's
State
because
Park.
mammoths helps.
or National Park,
They
whatever
helped
it is.
piece it together.
National Park. Devil's Post Pile Monument. It
Mighty is panting so well.
yeah, it's hot. I think I'm gonna go turn the air down.
It's hot. I can just crack the window. It's nice out now. The
Columnar
smoke's clear.
basalt.
Excuse me,
Basalt?
real quick. Bath salts.
Basalt.
Oh, basalt. I was like, why are we talking about PCT?
According to this here, it indicates that it was created Radiometric dating indicates that it was created by a lava flow sometime less than 100,000 years ago.
Who's a good boy?
Because of its thickness, much of the mass of pooled lava cooled slowly and evenly, which is why the columns are so long and symmetrical. It's so weird that that would happen, though. That they would come out so...
It looks really cool. You know, there are
Even.
rock formations around Tokati Falls, a lot like that.
Huh.
Remember?
Nature is crazy.
Do you not remember?
I think I do.
You went there.
Yeah.
And they got surrounding with falls.
Devil's corkscrews. I've not heard of that.
Devil's corkscrews. They found pipes within the cliffs.
They said they found pipes within the cliff. Okay.
But showed pictures of that instead. Misleading.
But they had pipes... So the lava they must have been Pompeii'd by a bunch of lava where those pipes
Pompeii'd.
were. Yeah. Well, it's not the most sensitive choice of language, but you understand what I'm saying when I say that. Because they had all those pipes.
They got Mount St. Helens.
Yeah. Super volcanoed. Let's finish this.
Lithuania lies a forest known as the Dancing Forest. While the name sounds whimsical, what is going on in there is a conundrum. Many of the trees are misshapen. Instead of growing straight upwards, they grow into loops and spirals, a similar style to how people may dance. Hence the name of the forest. The trees are believed to have been planted in 1961 to strengthen the sands, yet the reason for their deformity is unknown. But there are a couple of theories. One is that the caterpillar known as the Rhyachionia bioliana has caused the
Caterpillar
twisting
looks
due to them
very
attacking
bad.
the tree's trunk as they grew.
I do
Another
not
theory is
like
that the
it.
ground they're planted in, mixed with the winds, could have caused their shape. Another theory points to some form of paranormal event corrupting the tree's shapes, specifically positive and negative energies clashing in the area where the trees are wonky. From there, folktales have even been created, one of which states that if a person climbs through the tree's bent spiral, that person will be granted a wish. In 1938, German
Okay.
archaeologist Wilhelm Koenig discovered a 5-inch long clay pot. Within the pot, a tube of copper and a rod of iron were discovered. The pot was found in southeast Baghdad, specifically Kajut Rabu, Iraq. The pot
They
shows
had
signs
batteries?
of corrosion within. Tests revealed that an acidic agent was previously used inside the pot. This pot was perhaps the oldest battery in the world. It's believed that the pot was created between 224 BC
You know
and
what?
640 BC.
I don't know. I don't know if I think I told you about this before, but it was always told to me when I was little because I was raised as a JW,
Yeah.
and we were taught that people before Noah's Day were super advanced, and it was because of the flood. It all got wiped out, like far more advanced than we are today. Were you ever told that?
No.
Anybody else?
I could
Just
see being told that though. Like it would, and I would totally buy it because the fact that any of the other shit that happens in the Bible, if they tell
The
you that should
Nephilim.
happen,
The
that
Nephilim.
that's all equally as outlandish.
Giants.
David and Goliath would have been like, every bone in David's
a Nephilim.
body would have been broken.
Goliath was a Nephilim.
Right. That's this ancient battery is fucking interesting though. Like that means they knew about electricity way before we discovered it. Way before Benjamin Franklin.
You were
or
told
whatever.
that, Alice? I'm glad it wasn't just Jehovah's Witnesses.
Southern Baptists. Yeah, that's this is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
A multi-thousand-year-old battery. Like, what could they have possibly used the battery for?
Light.
That's it.
Let there be light. I don't know. It had like a lamp-based shape to me.
Oh, maybe like glowed when
Yeah.
they would activate it or whatever. I can see that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Heater. Although it's in Baghdad, is Baghdad always warm?
no,
Oh.
I don't think so. I think it gets pretty fucking
Heater.
cold out there.
I am uneducated. No, mighty. Nope. Don't put your paws there. Oh.
hate that he chooses that spot.
Yeah, it's because I'm the one who feeds him, so he sits next to me over here.
I think that's just the most convenient place for him to be. For himself, not for us.
As for its use, there's some debate on why the ancient people would require a battery back then. One suggestion is that the low voltage the battery produced could have been used for medical reasons such as relieving pain. Yet the volts were so low that it was unlikely to have any effect on a person's pain. The battery could have been used for electroplating. This is when a metal is transferred onto another metallic surface. This could mean the battery was used to make jewelry. However, it could also be a pot that transferred items rather than being a battery. The resulting decay of what was stored inside may have created the acidic residue. We may never know what its true use was. And
I
that's
know,
it.
the
like the
Honestly,
battery theory better.
The shape looks too specifically like a battery. I don't like it's cylindrical and shit. The pyramids can be used as a battery. Why are you just spreading misinformation?
You should actually look. We should watch. You know what? Because this is over. They're just talking about the blobs again. I'm done with the blobs. No more blobs.
Okay.
We've solved it.
We've solved it.
Let's talk about the pyramids.
Okay.
Atlas Rain sounds like it was a plot of a low-budget sci-fi film. We may avoid going outside again. What's your theory on the use of any of our entries? Post them down in the comments below. If
See,
you enjoyed
I
this video,
told
please give us
you
a
it
like
was
and
nothing from that.
Nothing from what?
I told you there was nothing else important that they were gonna say.
Oh, well, you never can be too careful, can you?
I read that they hooked the batteries up to statues that people would touch and feel the electricity, thinking they were communicating with God.
Oh, that's a good one.
God.
What?
Why you put it on me?
Because you were making a face.
What face was I making?
Some disappointed face, I think.
Pyramid time. Pyramids.
Pyramids?
Can we look at pyramids?
Pyramid conspiracies? Is that what's next?
We are not watching Ancient Aliens. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
That's fine.
I wish we could find. I don't remember the video that I watched because it talked about like their placement and how it aligned with the Earth and the axis, in addition to the stars.
How are the pyramids built?
Oh, we don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
More ancient aliens. Pyramid geography conspiracies.
It should be more like
Connect the pyramids.
interesting facts about the pyramids.
But that's not like they're gonna be like, oh, it's this tall and it's this wide. Not here's a conspiracy.
No, but there's actually. It's not about a conspiracy theory at all because just the facts alone.
I thought that's what we were doing here.
I know, but the facts alone about the pyramids make you think more.
10 things you don't know about the pyramids.
Amazing facts about the pyramids. Crazy facts. Oh, no, let's not. I just want to see pictures.
The 5 biggest mysteries and secrets surrounding the pyramids.
Let's watch. Top 5s. Top 5s!
There we go. Real quick. I'll be right back.
No.
Why?
Why do you want to leave me? I mean, every time middle of the stream, you're like, bye. Why can't you just stay with me?
Because I got to do something. Why? You stream by yourself all the time. What's the problem?
This is our time now.
What the fuck does that even mean?
It means you and me stream together.
Together.
Look, it's just started.
Oh my god.
You need to control yourself.
Well, at least they couldn't hear it. It was muted.
Yes, they do line up with Orion, but it's not just that. It's not just that. There are some crazy other things.
That is pretty fucking interesting. I'll be right back.
I don't know the exact facts by heart because I only watched a video about it one time. So I can say I'm not an expert 100%. But I thought in the video that I watched, and I'm a little intoxicated. Okay, so that makes it more difficult for me to relay this information from one video that I watched 6 months ago. But, okay, if you took something about what they said was that the pyramids are aligned at the exact center of the earth or something along those lines. Like if like it makes a perfect, I don't know how it was worded. But now it's frustrating me. I want to look some stuff up because I don't know if this video is going to give us the information, and I don't know that I'm thinking of, and I don't know what to look up to find what it is that I'm thinking of. Conspiracy Theory Iceberg, all 20 or so parts that's been released so far. I've already watched all the parts that are released so far, but we don't have time to watch 40 hours of Wendigoon's videos currently. Giraffes, it has nothing to do with animals. But my conspiracy theory is that mammoths helped build the pyramids, okay? They use mammoths to move the blocks. I'm telling you, mammoths. Hi.
Mammoths.
Mammoths. They help move the blocks. Okay. I remember there's something, there being something about one of the dimensions of the biggest pyramid, the Pyramid of Giza, right? That's what it's called? The largest pyramid, something about it, like not its height. Maybe it's its coordinates. It might be its coordinates, but its coordinate is is at the speed of light. Like if you put it into numbers, it's the speed of light. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm not kidding. I can't remember exactly. I can't figure out how to articulate it well in the way it was articulated to me. Does that make sense? Pyramids. So people believe that the pyramids has something to do with time travel.
Whoa.
Let me see. So the speed of light is 299,792,458 meters per second. The coordinates of the Great Pyramid of Giza is 29.979248 due north.
Huh. I see.
You see? So I was right. Ha-ha! Ha-ha! I was right! Yes!
But it says it's not as spooky as the post makes it out to be.
Let me see.
In the article.
Fact. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it's insane that they get it down to the exact decimal, and somehow they had the knowledge to be able to calculate that and put their pyramid exactly there on the planet.
Well, if we phone a friend to the audience, the Flying Jew Productions says that giraffes created the pyramids.
It was not. It was mammoth. I'm telling you. It was mammoth. What else?
You know, the pyramids aren't the most interesting of all the possible conspiracy theories to me.
They aren't the most?
No.
Why not?
Because they don't really do anything. They just sit there and they're all pointy.
But like, why? Why do they do that? I think it's hard for me to say that they're lame until I see it for myself.
I don't think they're lame.
We
I
should
think they're dope
see
as
all
hell.
the wonders of the world together. Let's go.
Sure.
I would really like to go to Peru and check out all of Machu Picchu. Yeah, let's go. Let's go together.
I would too.
That'd be dope
I
as
just want to
hell.
wait
Let's hike
for
it.
things to be more sane.
Didn't it take like over 100 years straight of building to get the pyramids up? I think that's what I saw.
I honestly don't know. The only thing that I know about being a mercilessly terrible endeavor for the people who built it is the Great Wall.
more of a Stonehenge kind of guy. Hey, Stonehenge is crazy too. How did they get those boulders to stand up and the big one on top? What did they use? I watched a whole video on it and people were like, magnets. They used magnets to levitate the boulder up to get them on.
Oh yeah,
On top
Jesse
the other one.
Pinkman.
I didn't
I'm just imagining him typing that comment. Yeah, bitch, magnets.
even magnets. I don't know. I watched one video. Okay, I try to retain as much knowledge as I can. I feel like I'm pretty good at it because I can spit out some fun fact. I learned a lot in Hawaii. I learned a lot about Kauai. And James, I'm spitting all these facts out at your mom, and I'm like, right, James? And you're like, I don't know.
I was just there to enjoy the bottomless drinks and the food.
They used mammoths for pyramids and giraffes for Stonehenge. Yes, yes.
Are we gonna watch this video?
Let's go.
So this video is the
It's top 5. We're gonna have to talk through a lot of this
biggest
because this will get. They will claim this. I feel like they're
mysteries
the type of channel to claim shit.
and secrets. It's an automated system that does it. Surrounding the Egyptian pyramids. So we're gonna get claimed no matter what.
Damn it!
Yeah.
Damn it! I'm gonna argue all of them. Okay, we're pausing and talking a lot through this.
Yeah. It might
I
not
hate
matter
it.
in the end.
I hate it. Stupid YouTube. Ooh.
I don't think Twitch would catch it though, so
No, that's another bonus of going to. We're really
Possibly.
thinking about it. We're really thinking about it.
possibly. Let's go.
I'm mostly tired of people coming in and being like,
The Egyptian pyramids
200,000
of Giza.
subscribers and 10 viewers. I'm like, every single time I see one of those,
There's no
I
channel.
straight up want to kick them right in the face. Like,
There's no
roundhouse
channel.
kick.
There's no channel that even gets that many live viewers on YouTube, even if they do have a lot of subs.
Unless
it's
they're like Felix.
live streams. Well, even his streams, like relative to the 100 million people he has subbed, aren't getting
Yeah,
a
that's true.
wild number. Like it's always a really
It's
small
wild
ratio.
on Twitch. It's wild on Twitch.
I
But
guess.
I think the people who watch here are watching here because they don't like Twitch. I think
Some of you are, I know.
Rowan doesn't like.
I
he's
don't like
gonna-
Twitch either, guys.
I mentioned.
But we might not have a
Rowan
choice because there are some features of Twitch that,
Are nicer.
like the sub system works a lot better.
Is it really like
and
this? It's
emotes.
just city right there and right next to the pyramids.
I guess. Probably. I mean, this looks like footage. We should watch it.
They are an archaeological masterpiece,
It's a
one of the
picture.
7 wonders of the world,
Damn
one
it.
of the most famous landmarks on the planet, and the most
One of
impressive
the most
man-made
famous
structures
landmarks
ever
on the
made.
planet. Sorry.
After many, many years of studying and our advancement in technology, we are still barely any further in uncovering the truth behind these magnificent structures.
It's a ramp system on the inside.
How were the huge stones moved? What mysterious cement was used to bind them
Just
all
kidding, that
together?
was debunked. Wasn't that
How are they
debunked?
so aligned?
Elevators.
The questions are endless. So from the
It
mysteries
is
to the
all
facts,
city around. It's just
let's
like
take a
freaking
dive
Athens.
into one of the most fascinating topics in the world, the Egyptian
I
pyramids.
didn't realize there were tiny pyramids all
As
around.
always,
I only knew
sit
about the
back
3 big ones.
and enjoy.
And the big Sphinx.
Are you allowed to climb
How
any
were
of
they
them?
built?
No!
Oh.
Let's start with the most
There
common
is no
questionable.
way. There is no way you're allowed to just go over there and climb that.
Well, I feel like there's a staircase that goes up one of them.
I don't think you're allowed. Is there a staircase that goes up one of them? Or are you thinking about the Luxor?
No. Is there a staircase? Shh.
Is there a staircase to heaven?
There is a modern staircase leading to an entrance
A
in the
modern
side
staircase.
of one of the 4 walls of the pyramid.
I thought you were talking about like one that.
I thought there might have been one that
See,
went straight up the side of one of them.
No, see, that's what I thought you were talking about, and that's why I was adamantly saying no.
Well, I mean, it kind of just looks like they could have placed each individual brick, but I can't tell how big the bricks are.
I think the bricks are like huge. I'm not kidding.
How... Shut up. How big are the pyramid bricks. The stone blocks of Khufu's pyramid were very large, 1 meter by 2.5 meters. Base dimensions. So they were like
6.5 to 10
tons.
tons.
Wow.
Each.
That's actually pretty fucking heavy, dude.
See? Mammoth. Mammoth. We should look up how much could a mammoth pull.
How much can a mammoth pull?
Damn it. No one has a good answer. That's
Mammoth
a donkey. That doesn't count.
How much can an elephant pull? Let's just try that.
And then we can add like a ton.
An adult elephant can lift more than 700 pounds with its trunk, but that doesn't tell me like what it can pull.
With its trunk? Straight up just with its trunk? I didn't realize elephant trunks were that strong. Yo, he's so cute. Look
In
at this.
brute strength, elephants
Ooh.
are the strongest mammals and strongest land animals. African elephants can weigh up to 6,300 kilograms and they can carry up to 9,000 kilograms.
Wow.
So, with that in mind, 9,000 kilograms to
What? That's gonna be like,
pounds.
I'm gonna guess around 15 pounds or 1,500. Oh no,
20,000 pounds.
I thought it was gonna
is
be like
10 tons.
15,000 pounds. Mammoths were required to help build the pyramids, and that's why mammoths are
Whoops.
extinct. Everybody listen,
Oh,
watch.
yeah.
When this is proven in 50 years, when most of us are on our deathbed.
Look, the math holds up somehow. The math holds up.
I'm telling you, mammoths.
20,000 pounds. It's 10 tons. Wait, did it say metric tons?
Mammoths.
I think it just said tons. Whoops.
Mammoths.
Fuck.
2.5 tons.
The average weight of a block is 2.5 tons. So elephants actually could carry that shit
Oh.
pretty handily. Like they could carry multiple bricks in one go. But I don't know how they could have climbed that shit. You know what I mean? The
Well, apparently
elephants.
They used to let you climb them. I was like, there's just no way. If we couldn't go into the Fern Grotto at Kauai, there's no way they're gonna let you climb all over the Pyramid of Giza.
Oh, totally, they would. Completely different countries. Not every country or
Well, they say they
state.
don't anymore. They used to.
It makes sense that they used to.
Yeah, that's
It-
how
but
it all is.
But it also wouldn't surprise me if they still let you today, because
Like, I'm sure most of Machu Picchu you can walk around, but I bet you the big, like, pyramid structures that they had,
I walked up a pyramid when I was there, not in Machu Picchu.
I don't
but
think you
in
can
Peru.
go, like, inside, though, is what I'm saying.
Probably not, or it's like all glassed off or something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the elephants could have taken the bricks to the pyramid, but as far as like getting them up that high, stacking them and shit, I don't know how. Because if one of those bricks weighed, like 50 people, how would even 10 dudes get around it and lift it? I don't know.
The Colosseum is dope. I've been
Ramps.
there. And did you guys know that at one point they actually filled the Colosseum with water and had a live battle, like boat versus boat? Did you know that?
Yeah, you
That
told me
shit's
before.
insane. Sorry.
No, keep going, because I don't. Not everybody might know that.
Is that not fucking insane? They just cart in millions of gallons of water, probably.
Well, Ben over here hit the nail on the head. You got to remember how bored these motherfuckers would have been in the olden days. They had such little to do. If they had a crazy drug trip, they'd call it gods.
Yeah, you know what? You're
So
right.
they'd just be like, you know what? We're building a pyramid, boys.
Voice Ferda.
Ferda. Straight up. Like, they just woke up one day and they're like, oh, let's build a fucking pyramid, yo. And then
Yeah.
they just did that for the next 100 years or whatever.
The Colosseum was crazy. Soup's dope.
They let
Soup's
you walk
dope,
up the
yo.
Mayan pyramids. I could see that. I remember walking up it wasn't like a massive pyramid or anything. It was maybe like a few dozen feet tall.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Take me. Let's go.
I like to, but it's scary right now.
Yeah.
It's scary. People stole a lot of the outer layer of the pyramid. Yeah, I mean, I can
They
see it.
stole it. How do you steal 2.5 tons?
They just bring one piece at a time. They probably like took hammers and shit and like broke shit off.
I'd like back my truck up. Hey, mammoth friend, come over here.
It was probably a thing that people would do. Is just like come by. They're visiting the pyramids. Oh, let's just take a hammer and chisel and knock off a piece of the Great Pyramids for ourselves.
Hell yeah.
They had aqueducts in Rome, so it probably wasn't too hard. Wait,
I don't
do what
know.
now?
I just think
to build
it's
the pyramids.
No, to fill the Colosseum with water to have a boat battle. I think it was difficult for people to get millions of gallons of water anywhere back then, even with aqueducts. I'm just under that
I'm sure it wasn't easy, right?
belief.
Doubt it was easy. But what's more amazing to me is just the creativity and the fact that somebody didn't think it was ridiculous and they followed through
They were like,
and had the whole battle.
bro,
the
that's
Colosseum
a great
there.
idea, bro. Berta.
There was some territory that mammoths could not conquer. Africa, Central America, and Southeast Asia were too warm for the shaggy coated beasts. See, that would have been my thought. But even
No,
like
They were here.
a regular elephant could have done it though.
Mammoth was there.
An elephant
Nope. Mammoth
the-
superiority.
An elephant would have had the carrying capacity. He would have had the chops.
Just shave them.
Yeah. If
And then
you were
you can
able
make
to tame
clothes.
them.
for all
Yeah,
your
you shave
friends.
them for the mammoth fur. It really is too bad that they're gone. We should watch this video.
Yeah.
How were the pyramids built? It's estimated they took between 10 and 15 years to build,
What?
and the ancient engineering feats at Giza was so
I thought it
impressive
was like over 100.
that even
I
today,
guess I was
scientists cannot be sure how the pyramids were constructed. What is known is that the
10 to
builders would have been
15
highly skilled,
years
strong
doesn't
Egyptians,
sound like enough.
not slaves, as is sometimes depicted.
It doesn't.
And the workforce was thought to be anything from 14,000 to as many as 40,000.
Hold up. I'm gonna fact check this British guy. How long?
I think he's right because I've heard
was
this
it
before too, that it wasn't
estimated?
actually slaves
Or-
that built the pyramids. It was just like architects and construction workers that slept in the same house as the pharaoh or whatever. Like they had it good. They were taken care of. They had benefits, great benefits.
20 years. 20 years.
What are elephants if not bald
20
mammoths? They are
years.
bald mammoths that are also
Small.
a few thousand pounds lighter.
20
whatever.
years. Not 10 to 15.
You should have checked his sources.
Just think, the Great Pyramid alone is estimated to contain 2.3 million limestone blocks, 8,000 tons of granite, and 500,000 tons of mortar.
That'd be such a pain in
It's
the
no
ass
wonder
to
we
get up
question
there.
how
I'd
these
be
huge
pissed.
quantities of building materials were transported, let alone manoeuvred into place, some of which lifted over 450 feet up.
Lifted?
What we do somewhat know is that the blocks were from nearby quarries, and as was the tradition with ancient Egyptians at the time, they were cut by hammering in water-soaked wooden wedges into cracks. As the water was absorbed and the wedges expanded, it caused the rock to break.
Whoa.
Once they were cut,
What?
they were transported by boat or floated using a flotation device, either up or down the River Nile, and then to the pyramid build site. That's the most plausible theory on how the building material was transported to the pyramid site, but that doesn't explain how the pyramids themselves were constructed.
I couldn't imagine
First,
being one of
let's
these
not forget
whores down
that some
here
of the
and then having
individual
your
blocks-
emperor, I'm going to build the pyramids of Giza.
But what's interesting is that they built those pyramids and then they just put nothing else there.
Yeah, it doesn't make any. Well, there's tombs and shit in there, right?
Probably,
I
but
thought
like you
that's
think they
what-
would set up like a bazaar or something, or you know,
Right? Like in
a bunch of
Breath of the Wild.
city. Yeah, and like you think they would have maintained the pyramids over time and kept it like as like a central feature. Maybe started adding some like motel rooms up there.
Some motel rooms.
Yeah,
I mean, they have so much sand. They should be making glass all the time.
and
Glass to fill in one of the blocks. Put a room
you got
there.
the Nile. You put up some Croc-sided signs, and you got yourself a luxury resort.
Croc sighting signs.
Yeah,
Croc sighting here. Beware, Crocs.
yeah, yeah.
Crocodile.
Swim at your
crocodile
own risk.
landing. Swim at your own risk.
Say what you will about the ocean, but I would much rather swim in the Pacific Ocean, pretty much anywhere.
Elephant's
the
natural
Nile.
ranging territory doesn't include Northwest Africa either. So it wasn't. We know for a fact it wasn't elephants. It had to be mammoths.
You kind of left out the other part of Not Quite's comment, which was they were much closer and theoretically
No,
could be acquired.
no, I don't. I didn't see that one. You're lying.
It's in the same
It's
comment.
mammoth.
It's in the same message.
Mammoths.
The pyramids themselves weren't actually tombs. The pharaohs were buried in the Valley of the Kings. So they weren't buried like underneath the pyramids, just
See, I thought they were like underneath, or yeah,
in a valley nearby.
like you would walk in and then you'd go down a set of stairs and boom, tombs. Isn't that in like The Mummy? Did you ever see that? Is
Yeah.
that why I'm thinking this?
Could be. The Mummy was
That was terrible.
not the best,
That one
but
guy
it
got
was
devoured
also
by like cockroaches.
it was also like kind of campy and fun.
It has that one guy that kind of looks like Nick Cage, but not quite.
Brendan Fraser.
That one.
Yeah, he had a rough go.
He did?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know.
Oh.
Can't remember. He just, his career didn't do
The
so good.
Base Pro Shops Pyramid in Memphis has a rental. Great, let's go.
I mean, Vegas figured it out.
Yep, they
They
did.
made a big glass pyramid and put rooms in it.
And dumped all the like Egyptian style stuff on the inside. It
Yeah,
was a big. Well, the Sphinx is out front.
yeah. I always thought
That's my-
sphinxes were cool.
That's my Sphinx.
It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Can we
No.
can we get that one more time?
Okay. You can't see me.
Hold on. I'm working on it.
Hold up. No, I was gonna back up.
I'm working on it. There you go.
I can't do this with it.
There's Mighty's impression of a sphinx.
He just said hello. Hi. Hi, baby. Hello. He's so cute. Okay, Sphinx. Did you see it? Did you get?
Fabulous. Yep. Wonderful.
Thank you.
So
I have to do
good.
Sphinx pose and yoga, so I'm just professional at it now.
Someone get you an Oscar.
He's your baby boy. Dude, he's just staring at his food. Every time he jumps up on me, he just makes eye contact straight at his food. He's like,
Spoiled brat. Okay. More pyramid facts.
Are estimated to weigh as much as 70 tons, with most being around 2.5 tons. Even modern day, fuel-powered construction cranes don't usually lift more than 20 tons. So how did they do it? There are two most popular
shit.
theories. The first, that once the blocks arrived at the pyramid site, a system of ramps would have been used to hold the
that
stones
was
into place.
disproven.
But given their sheer weight and the height they would have needed to be hauled as the pyramids began to take shape, makes this theory incredibly unlikely, although not impossible. For most people, the second theory seems more plausible. The huge stones
Floating.
were floated into position using the same buoyancy method possibly used to transport them to the site. But although it looks simple on video and diagrams, don't forget we're talking tons of stone. The amount of buoyancy needed for this would be astronomical. Take into account the waterproofing needed for the water chambers,
Wild.
and the amount of pressure on the hatch doors that would have needed to be opened and closed seems insane. This
Yeah,
theory,
how would they have
although good on
gotten that
paper,
much pressure?
doesn't hold enough evidence to suggest that this is how those blocks were maneuvered. And that's because, despite some of the cleverest minds invested in this, we are still not sure how exactly these incredible structures were built. However, a Top 5's video wouldn't be complete without mentioning aliens, so we will talk about those later.
Aliens!
How do you think they were built?
Aliens put the bricks into place.
The secret tunnels. The pyramids...
I think it's just a perspective thing for me, because the bricks don't look that big, but obviously if they were like...
They're huge.
4,000 pounds each.
I thought the one that was debunked was the inside tunnel theory. That they like would build it up but leave parts of the inside hollow, so that way you could take the bricks up through the inside through ramps. But I thought that was disproven. And that was like the most popular, most widely believed.
What
theory.
I've always seen is that they use ramps on the outside and they carry them like up. Like they started the platform and then they slowly built inward. But it just seems like it would be so dangerous to work on this particular...
I'm sure lots of people died.
Yeah, crushed by giant rocks.
Like you in my nightmare that I had last night.
Except it was a boat.
It was a boat. I had a really bad nightmare last night, and then I woke up, and I think I woke you up because I was like, cuddle me.
James,
it
you
made
died.
me sad. He died in front of me. I hate that I get nightmares like that.
That is horrible. I do not dream
It's terrible.
very often.
I have really vivid dreams. I literally was like, no. And I just woke up.
That's usually how it goes, right? Like something so awful happens that it just snaps you awake.
Yeah. I was like, I'm home. I'm not in Kauai anymore. I'm not on a friggin' boat. I'm at home asleep. Wake up, bitch. Like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Shut up, bitch. That
Shut
was
up,
me.
bitch.
But why did you say it like Jesse Pinkman?
I don't know. Just too many years of
No, you gotta say it like
parroting him.
you need.
Shut up,
You need
bitch.
to put on your sunglasses and say, "Shut up, bitch," because he's wearing sunglasses.
I also need to make it look like I'm bald. Shut up, bitch.
Yeah, there you go. Amazing. Do you guys know the clip? You know the clip, right? Please tell me you know the clip. He's speaking into the microphone like this.
Yeah. Because that was in vogue back then.
Yeah. What was that? 2000s? Yeah.
Or more pyramid facts for all of you.
Yes.
And for me, and for you.
are filled with mysteries, and the Great Pyramid air shafts or tunnels is one of them. At first it was thought they may have served as some sort of ventilation during the construction process. However, this has been dismissed in recent years, after the discovery of what appears to be small limestone blocks or
What the-
doors at the top of some of the shafts.
What the frick?
There are currently 3 known chambers
I
in
don't
the
know
Great
why, but
Pyramid,
I'd kinda be
the
scared
base
if I saw
chamber
that in
that
there.
supports the pyramid, and 2 upper chambers that are known as
There
the
were
Queen and
chambers
King's
for
chambers.
the...
Yeah.
In both of these, it's been discovered that there are 4 small tunnels that extend from the north and south walls. They are only around 20 centimeters squared, and over the years, it's speculated that these lead to another secret chamber deep within the pyramid.
So how did they get...
With modern technology,
So they just... So they just walked around in there like that in the dark?
No, I'm sure they had torches.
I would not want to live in the pitch dark of
I
the
don't
pyramid.
I don't think they lived in there. I think that those chambers were just made like in dedication to them. Are there photos of the inside of the king's chamber?
Let's see, shall we?
There is.
Dude, that looks
Kind of looks
terrible.
boring. Yeah.
Dude, this is just a prison cell, straight up.
It looks like you can just walk in there. There's some broad in here on her smartphone. What the fuck?
She's making a face at it too, like, oh.
This is so dumb. Boring.
Dude,
She's
I
on
feel
Twitter.
like I'm in. I'm giving the Pyramid of Giza two stars. This place not as cool as they make it seem. You know,
No.
no decor. It feels very prison-like.
Get a selfie with the pyramid.
Just looking at random couples now.
Apparently you can go up in there and it's no big deal. Look,
There's a whole
people-
group of people.
Yeah, people just take photos in the king's chamber. Wait, is this where he would have been buried right here then?
No, because it's not a tomb. It's a chamber. That's like,
This is just like what
Maybe
used to
it's
be
a
his
tub.
bed.
oh.
Oh,
We're both,
could be
oh,
either one.
oh.
They wired up a camera. Yeah, there's so much to vandalize in there.
All that rock.
All that rock.
Bet you people try to carve shit into it, if anything.
Yeah, I mean,
That's fucked up.
that would be pretty messed up to do on a several thousand-year-old building.
She's hate tweeting about it. That's what I'm saying. They used sonar to map the chambers. Ooh.
That's bananas.
Good boy.
Where the king is buried would be highly decorated. That also makes sense.
That's what I'd assume.
Gold
considering
and
how-
jewelry and whatnot.
How gaudy. That's what I was looking for. Considering how gaudy their casket?
Yeah.
Casket? That's
Yeah.
what we'd call it. Sarcophagus. That's what I was
Sarcophagus.
looking for.
Boom.
I
Just
knew
a
it.
fancy casket.
I knew
It's been
it.
established that the tunnels in the king's chamber are open-ended and lead to the outside of the pyramid. This has led to the belief that these shafts were to allow the king's soul to travel to the stars of the north and south sky, and this seems quite plausible considering their beliefs. However, the queen's chamber tunnels are more mysterious, and remote control cameras have been sent
Her
down
soul
them,
went
and this
straight
is when
to
it was
hell.
realised they are blocked
Kidding.
off by small
kidding.
stone doors, with what appears to be metal pins.
Dude, that's
This is
creepy.
strange in itself,
I don't
as no
know why,
metal
but
is
I
in
don't-
any
I
other
don't
part
like
of the
those
pyramid.
doors.
Why?
It's like eyes looking at me, and it's making me uncomfortable.
Looks like eyes bleeding.
I'm scared. Don't
It's
hurt
a-
me, I'm scared.
It's an evil block.
This has led to speculation that behind the door is another undiscovered chamber.
Then why don't they open the
More
door?
recently,
What's
another
behind door
robot-
number one? Sorry.
Probably
You
because
pause it so angrily every time and look at me like, shut up.
because I like a couple of times we speculated and then they've said like the next 10 seconds they've talked about what it is.
Well, I'd rather guess and be right and be like, see, I'm always right. You know what I mean?
I would assume that they wouldn't
Mammoths.
fuck with it, although it kind of looks like they're fucking with it in this photo or footage right here because they don't want to damage the pyramid, but let's see.
Was sent in, and this time it drilled into a stone block inside the tunnel, and did discover a small empty chamber.
Hell yeah.
The most recent exploration of the tunnel was done using a newly developed robot camera that managed to get into the chamber
iRobot.
and found 4,500-year-old hieroglyphics written in red paint, and carvings in the stone.
I'm going to go
With
ahead
these
out
multi-
on a limb here and say that's not red paint.
It's blood. I don't think blood would survive even
That
in a
long?
cave like that for that long, no.
Really? You don't
4,500 years?
You don't think it would stain the limestone? Let me look it
I-
up.
You know,
Does blood
a
stain
good point.
limestone? Because I'm pretty sure it stains really porous.
and limestone in particular, right, is super porous. Otherwise, how would they have been able to break it off in bricks the way they did with water? The SCP statue? What is the SCP statue? Trying to get me to look up something inappropriate.
Blood can stain.
Oh shit, it does
Limestone.
look like the SCP statue.
Ew! Ah!
Like a nasty bear.
Ew! Dude, what the fuck?
What is this? Oh, it's from a game or something?
I don't like it.
Secure, contain, protect. Oh, they're treating it like it's a real thing. This is a dude in a suit, yo.
I don't like this dude in the suit, yo.
Or it's like a statue. It looks like they say he's in containment. He's in somebody's garage,
I'm
man.
a real boy, dude. That straight up looks like a creepy ass Pinocchio.
Are you fucking shitting me? Like, it's in
No,
containment.
It's terrifying.
It's in containment, guys. It's in fucking Gary's garage. Like, if this thing was a threat, couldn't it just, like, toss itself through that window? And then it would just climb out, right?
Yeah, straight up.
collection of monsters with their own lore. A file
Oh.
of stories. I see. A huge rabbit hole that you would love us to go down. I'll check it out.
Wendigoon has a video about staircases in the woods.
Oh, that shit is interesting too.
Wait, you've actually heard about it?
Yeah.
Isn't it like, I don't know, because I don't know if I buy it.
I mean, I've seen random staircases in the woods, but not like what they describe in the urban legend.
You've seen random staircases in the woods.
But not the way they describe it, where it's like, oh, this would have been in an apartment building.
Yeah.
Not like that.
Because they're supposed to be like perfectly maintained stairs.
Mm.
Like there could be a whole mahogany ass grand staircase from like, I don't know, the 1700s. I don't fucking know, way back when, with like super fancy carpet, not stained at all, just randomly built up in the middle of the forest.
Yeah, I've never seen
And you're
anything
not
like
supposed
that.
to go up to them or whatever, because
Yep.
you'll fucking die.
You'll die.
What?
Terrible death. You could disappear.
The theory is that they're like portals or whatever. I don't fucking know. Different planes.
Yeah, that's a little
universes. I don't know.
Um,
That's how freaking Bigfoot gets around.
yeah, he's just mastered the staircases. He's, somebody
Leg day.
sees him in the woods. He says, leg day, bitch. See ya. And he sprints up the staircase and disappears to someplace unknown.
See ya. So- That's funny.
Let's finish this.
I'd almost want to work in the Forest Service just to find out if the staircases
that-
are real or
that
not.
does
And then
sound fun.
as soon as I found out, I'd quit.
Yeah.
And then if it's true, I'd never go to a forest ever again.
Just never
Nope.
messing with
And
it.
I love to hike.
Yeah.
I'd say no more. No more. I'm done hiking.
That would actually be a really cool YouTube series, looking for staircases in the middle of the woods.
That's creepy.
I don't know, that shit is
We
cool
have
to
a
me.
lot of forests around us, so it just
Yeah.
makes me kind of creeped out.
The best thing to do that I think would be to stream it. If you could live stream like
Looking
backpacking
for
and
staircases in the woods.
not necessarily just looking for staircases, but just live stream exploring like really
Looking
wild
for-
territory.
Sketchy shit in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be the name of the series. It'd be a
Honestly,
good
we
time.
could probably find a lot of stuff, like a lot of fucked up shit up in the mountains here, because
Oh,
there
yeah.
have been so many serial killers that decided to use
Lots
the
of rapes.
Cascade Mountain Range as a place to dump their bodies.
It's a crowd favorite among
Yeah,
the rapists.
just ask our boy Ted.
Mm-hmm. There's a Bigfoot SCP. Ooh, cool. We'll check it out.
Let's go.
Detailed pictures, it's been suggested the tunnel has some symbolic meaning, rather than serving any purpose. And if the hieroglyphics could be deciphered, it could hold the key to yet another mystery of the Great Pyramid. It would not have been easy to incorporate these shafts into what was already a super intricate building, so it's safe to assume there is some deeper meaning to them, and the
That's a
possibility is
cool
high that there are
artwork.
many more undiscovered tunnels deep within the Great Pyramid. It's just a matter of searching for them.
If they used sonar, shouldn't they be able
Why
to
did
see
they
all
build
of
them?
them?
Bizarre
I
as
don't
it
know
may
how it works.
seem, we think we know one
Well, I think the way the sonar works is
They can only go so far.
when it bounces off against a solid, so when it hits the door, then the sonar doesn't track anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if it's sealed off, then it's just going to be like a wall.
Oh.
And it'll be like the passageway ended.
Ugh.
What was that?
We're talking about conspiracy theories and shit.
Shivers
It's mostly
of-
mostly the staircase.
Fright?
Staircase freaks me out.
I don't know if I've ever heard one that really freaked me out. I remember when I first heard about the staircases, it kind of freaked me out.
I
but
can't believe you never told me about it. It's probably because you didn't want me to be scared. Because I only just found out
No.
like last month. When
No,
watched
I
Wendigoon's
just, it's
video.
not something that I think about ever because it's interesting.
I wish I couldn't think about it ever.
It's interesting to me, but the notion that it's true is just too silly for me to
Yeah.
take it seriously.
But
Alice
you've
said
seen random staircases in the
people
woods.
in the Forest Service pretend they don't exist when they see them from stories I've read. See, I've read
Yeah.
that too.
I read. Well, I didn't read the stories, but I had them read to me by Wendigoon.
Yeah.
He went all the big Reddit thread.
I want to be sun-dried on the surface of a pyramid.
You know what? Me too. I think that's the best way to get a golden tan.
Oh yeah, you look just like the pharaohs when the sun is done with you. Let's keep watching. Where is the Sphinx, by the way?
White.
I thought they had a Sphinx by the pyramid.
There is a Sphinx, but I think we're on the wrong side.
I see.
One thing about
That's just
the
my
pyramids,
hunch, 'cause I thought it
why
was
they were
right out
built.
front.
It's believed these huge constructions were built as tombs for pharaohs and their queens, to protect their bodies and help them on their journey to eternal life. From birth, the ancient Egyptians planned
Hello,
for their
Josh.
death, and for the pharaohs, the pyramids were perfect for holding their most prized possessions that they would need in the afterlife. The burial was considered a very important event, a process that was connected to the rising and setting of the sun.
Glorious.
The dead pharaoh represented Osiris, the setting of the sun, and his son, who would replace his father as the new pharaoh, was the vision of Horus, the rising of the sun. For this reason, the deceased pharaoh had to be eternally protected in death to avoid a cosmic disturbance, and his body preserved so it would be recognizable by his spirit. This was achieved by the process of mummification that consisted of being embalmed and wrapped in a fine linen. The pharaoh's body would then be placed in a sarcophagus made of heavy stone to protect his corpse, and placed deep in the pyramid, along with gold, food, furniture, boats, clothing, and other luxury offerings. Items that would not only provide for him, but also for relatives and servants buried near him.
Ferda.
However, despite these elaborate measures, all the pyramids of Giza eventually succumbed to tomb thieves, and no bodies have ever been recovered from them. Today they are completely empty, and unlike other Egyptian tombs, the walls are also bare, and contain no inscriptions, hieroglyphics,
So
or
they guessed that there were tombs there, but
There, like, stuff was probably hung up and shit. That's too bad. All that
That's really
history
fucking sad.
lost because somebody wanted a quick payday.
But wasn't it? I'm not here to throw stones or anything, but wasn't it mostly the British?
Oh, probably.
Wasn't it mostly?
Seems like a British
The guy
thing to do.
from what show it was it Downton Abbey? The actual guy who ran Downton Abbey was super interested in Egypt and went there for himself and helped discover it or some shit.
I don't know. I do know that
Why
there's
do I
that.
remember this?
Well, there's that story about the guys that discovered King Tut all dying, like inside
What
of
they get?
20 years after they discovered and
They were cool.
excised his tomb or whatever. And I think there were a bunch of British dudes.
Back in the 1800s, they had... No, I was reading that.
Hold on.
Back in the 1800s, they had unboxing parties in Europe with the sarcophaguses they found. Oh, for the pyramids themselves, by the time of British colonial rule, the inside of the pyramids were mostly barren. Oh.
The British get off easy on this one.
So it wasn't the Brits. I just assume it's them. No offense, British people.
The rumored curse. Well, who opened up his tomb? Rediscovery. Theodore Davis got the concession rights to excavate. Oh, he was American. Whoops.
It was an American? Oh no,
yeah.
of course.
And
God
in
damn
that
it,
time,
stupid.
he had unearthed 10 tombs, including the nearly intact but non-royal tomb of Queen Tai's parents, Yuya and Chuyu. He uncovered nothing of major significance. I fear the Valley of the Tombs is exhausted. After a systematic search, they discovered the actual tomb of Tutankhamun. By 1923, the antechamber had been cleared of everything but 2 sentinel statues. A day and time were selected to unseal the tomb with about 20 appointed witnesses. So for many years, rumors of a curse of the pharaohs persisted, emphasizing the early death of some of those who had entered the tomb. Most prominent was George Herbert, 5th Earl of Carnarvon. Was he British? He was English.
Haha!
And he
I
was an
knew they had to be
aristocrat.
wrong somewhere in there.
He suffered a mosquito bite, which became infected by a razor cut, and just that killed him.
That's rough.
Blood
you know, it would have
poisoning
been
and
to
pneumonia.
live. It would have been sucky to live back then because things like that would just knock
Yeah.
you.
The cause of his
Right
death was
out.
pneumonia, supervening on a strep infection of the skin and underlying soft tissue. The Earl had been in an automobile accident in 1901, making him very unhealthy and frail. He became interested in Egypt, so he traveled to a warmer climate and became interested in Egyptology, I guess the study of Egypt. Howard Carter died of lymphoma in 1939. The last survivors included some other rich people who lived for, one person in particular lived for 57 years after they discovered the tomb. So the curse was a little flimsy. You know, it didn't hold up to the test of time.
The curse is a lie. It's a lie.
Just a weak ass curse, you know.
There's a body farm in Colorado, very close to where my grandparents live. And
A
every time we
body
drive
farm.
by, yeah, it's exactly what Not Quite said. Every time we drive by growing up, my grandma and grandpa would be like, "That's where the bodies are." And they would say that to us as kids. And we'd be
Whoa.
like,
Research facility where decomposition can be studied in a variety of settings. The initial one was conceived by anthropologist William Bass in 1987. Wow.
yeah, I think a lot of people in criminology have to study them too to see just how bodies decompose to get a feel for how long they've been decomposing for.
They had unboxing parties in Europe with sarcophaguses they
I
found.
read that. I thought it was funny.
Oh.
And that's the one you kept clicking away from while I was trying to read it.
Okay, I'm with it now. I was just really interested in King Tut at the time.
Let's go.
I'm still reading.
Ugh.
That's why King Tut is such a big name, because it's one of the only tombs they've ever found that was hardly touched at all.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that one growing up all the time. That's cool. The dollar store curse.
names, apart from those secret tunnels. This decimation of the pyramids forced the pharaohs to eventually look for other ways to protect their bodies, and they moved to carving their tombs into cliffs or underground. Most notably in the Valley of the Kings, where the boy king Tutankhamun's tomb was famously uncovered in 1922. But maybe the pyramids were not built for this, and had
He
a
was
much
young?
more significant purpose.
King Tut?
Yeah.
He
They
died
just-
when he was 19. I think he got sick, real sick. I think the pharaohs might have been inbred, so they had a lot of problems. Maybe I'm wrong.
Usually most royalty was
Yeah.
pretty inbred.
Tutankhamun was slight of build, roughly 5'6". He had large front incisors and an overbite characteristic of the Tutmosid royal line to which he belonged, etc., etc. Narrow waist and rounded hips. His unusual depiction in art in his early death, it has been theorized that King Tut suffered from gynecomastia, Marfan syndrome, Wilson
Oh.
Turner X-linked intellectual disability syndrome. Wow, there's so many things that they think he had.
I think they'll just stick with Marfan syndrome because
Uh-huh.
rough idea.
Caution has been urged in this diagnosis, you don't say. His mummy was CT scanned in 2005. He had a partially cleft hard palate. No kidding.
And possibly a mild case of scoliosis.
Wow.
Hey,
His right foot was flat
relatable.
with hypophalangism, while his left foot was clubbed and suffered bone necrosis. Jeez.
Wow, these people
So
just
many
have
problems.
very rough. There's a fucking
Fucking
gnat.
gnat. The affliction may have forced King Tut to walk with the use of a cane, many of which were found in his tomb.
Oh.
Ooh, what a rough life this kid lived.
He had malaria infections that
Jeez.
caused a fatal immune response in the body that triggered circulatory shock. God damn it, you bitch ass gnat. What?
There are no surviving records of the circumstances of his death. His death was likely the result of a combination of his multiple weakening disorders, a leg fracture, possibly as a result of a fall, severe malarial infection.
Did King Tut ever live in the pyramids? Because if he fell, that just goes to prove these pyramids were a safety hazard.
Yeah,
Were these stairs built up to code?
probably not. There probably was no code. Murder by a
Just
blow
the
to the
bro
head
code.
was theorized as a result of the 1968 X-ray, which showed 2 bone fragments inside the skull. The theory was disproved by further analysis of X-rays and then the CT scan. Modern unwrapping of the mummy probably led to the bone fractures in the skull.
Oh, they unwrapped it? Why couldn't they just stick with doing the scan?
I mean, you can see his whole face on the internet.
You
and
can?
At the museum where they're storing him, I presume.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. The missing ribs are unlikely to be a result of an injury. Blah, blah, blah. The chest wall of the king was intact, still bearing a beaded collar, so he was missing ribs. Ugh. The absence of the collar and chest
Well,
was
they could
noted.
have removed.
Further
some of
confirmed.
them.
Yeah, I don't know.
They liked to
Something's-
remove
Something's
some
missing.
organs and stuff.
Right. Anyway, interesting shit. I haven't read about it in so long. I always go down those rabbit holes from time to time.
I think King Tut did have a passport made, actually.
What?
Bran asked, didn't King Tut have a passport made? And I think he did.
For what purpose?
To move the corpse.
He was very inbred. He could hardly walk and was said to shoot a bow and arrow seated. Damn. It's a sad life. To die at 19, even though you were royalty, it's just like it's like a cruel kind of irony.
Let's see.
Most of the pharaohs never really used the pyramids since they are that old. Fun fact, Cleopatra lived closer to our time than to the building of the pyramids. Whoa.
What?
History is interesting as fuck. Assuming it's all true.
No, it was a different mummy. It wasn't King Tut. It was King Ramses II, who died in 1213 BC.
Oh,
Had to be flown from Egypt to Paris.
Isn't the guy that Moses grew up with?
1213? Was Moses that long?
Oh, must have been a different Ramses.
Was Ramses two friends with Moses? I don't know. Where are you going? He always does this. Wait,
Water.
I have water right here.
It's not my water.
So?
Mine has ice in it.
He's picky. No, it is not. Yeah, it was a common pharaoh name. I think it was a movie thing. Moses and Pharaoh. Huh. You learn something, a bunch of things new every day. Moses is theorized to be with Ramses II, but it doesn't really line up chronologically with the pharaohs.
What does that mean?
Right here on Quora.
Are you
right?
saying pharaohs didn't exist when Moses did his thing?
The Bible doesn't name the pharaoh of the time of Moses. This was the common custom during New Kingdom dynasties, where the pharaoh was only known and addressed by his title.
Ah,
The author of the Torah follows this same custom, so today we have little by which to identify this pharaoh.
that's convenient.
That's pretty much everything back then, huh? Missy! You gotta switch! Animal Crossing! Animal Crossing!
Oh, yeah?
Animal Crossing! Oh,
Oh, yeah?
yeah? James getting another drinky drink?
Yeah, this will be my last one
Last one?
for the evening.
Party pooper? Why? Why would this be your last one? We don't have places to be tomorrow. My only plans tomorrow is to watch 2 different movies. Jurassic Park 2, Robin Hood Men in Tights, and to make zucchini bread with Liz.
Yeah, it doesn't sound busy at all.
What about That's Busy?
I mean, between those two movies, you're looking at like 4 hours already.
Well, we're watching one in the morning and one in the evening.
And then Zucchini Bread is going to take a few hours.
We already watched like 4 hours worth of whatever it is we're watching every day anyway. Yay, Missy! Animal Crossing. I'll bring you a bunch of DIYs as soon as you get Animal Crossing if you would like. I haven't got to play since on the plane on the way to Kauai. I have
Right.
not. And even then I was behind and catching up. I am 27 days behind.
I'm probably going to play music all day. Other than the movies that we watch. What?
27 days behind in Animal Crossing.
You'll never catch up.
I will eventually.
Eventually.
Whenever I get excited to play again. Yes, I have a bunch of rare DIYs that I was in the process of selling on Reddit, and it just takes too much time. So I'll give you a bunch of them. A bunch of like, this will make more sense to you then, but a bunch of seasonal DIYs. Some Celeste DIYs, you know, like, you know that, what? Celeste is Blather's sister, you know, the owl.
Yeah.
The one that I would really like a plushie of.
Right.
But Build-A-Bear didn't do that. Fuck Build-A-Bear.
Yeah, well,
Build-A-Bear.
I can't believe they got it so wrong. They only did Build-A-Bears for Tom Nook,
Tom
right?
Nook and Isabel.
The two
think.
worst characters. Other than Chester, whatever that fucking squirrel's name is.
Build-A-Bear, ACNH.
Shall we?
Hold up. I want to see which ones they made. I'm only yeah, look, and they don't. No offense, Build-A-Bear, but they just don't. Oh wait, it looks like they made It looks like they made a KK one.
Oh, that's cool.
I would like the KK Slider Build-A-Bear.
Me too.
I'll show them. I'll show the people. Do you see it? Oh. Can they see that? Check it out. Okay, but they don't really look that good. Something about it. Like the people who make them on Etsy do a lot better job.
Yeah, we should just buy the ones that
They're
buy
just
all the
gonna
ones
be-
you want off Etsy.
All the ones I want?
I just mean in general, not all the ones
Because
you in particular
I
want.
will buy all of my Dreamies. In addition to Celeste.
One at a
and
time.
KK.
I actually have a Zero from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes, you do. And he's got a little...
Its nose lights up.
Doesn't it have a little pumpkin with it? The one that your mom puts out? Are you talking about that one?
I don't know.
She puts it out at Halloween time.
I'm not sure. We'll find out in a couple months. Anyway,
Cute.
more mysteries surrounding the Egyptian pyramids.
One that could explain the incredible accuracy that went into building them.
Two.
Why and how are the Great Pyramids of Giza the most perfectly aligned structures on the planet? With a footprint of 13 acres, you
This
would
is the shit
think
I was
there would be a
talking
lot of room for errors in terms of the perfection of the pyramid structure.
Here we go.
However, over the years, more and more people have been realizing how aligned they seem to be in relation
This
to
is what I was
stars on
trying to
Earth.
explain also.
It's mainly the Great Pyramid, which
Let's
out of the
see.
three is the one that holds the most secrets and has baffled scientists, archaeologists, and astronomers for years. One example is, if you multiply the height of the Great Pyramid by 43,200, it's equal to the polar radius of the Earth. Now this wouldn't mean anything, but if you multiply the base perimeter by the same number, it's equal to the equatorial circumference of the Earth. It could be a complete coincidence, but we are led to believe
How did
they
they
were built
figure
in a
that out?
time when nobody knew a thing about the Earth, or that we even lived on a round planet for that matter. The Great Pyramid also faces true
Is
north, with only
43,200 just a
3/60th
random
of a
number that they pulled out of their ass?
That's-
If you multiply it with
Yeah.
this in particular number,
The fact that it is a round number, like it's an integer,
makes it
it's,
seem like it's on purpose.
yeah, like that is kind of weird.
Mhm.
Like you think it would be another decimal to
Yeah.
get to the decimal number that equals the fucking Earth's equatorial whatever. But I don't know. That's
just
interesting.
Pulled that number out of nowhere. 43,200. I called it.
43,200. Yeah, it would be more interesting if it was 420 or something like that. 420.69.
Degree of error. And when it was built, it was exactly aligned to the North Pole, and is positioned at the centre of the landmass of Earth. The four faces of the Great Pyramid are slightly concave, the only one built this way.
The center with respect to what? The center is wherever you've got the map open and there's
Right? Because I remember thinking the same thing.
like you can decide anywhere is the center. Maybe
Is it like aligned perfectly with the equator? No, it's not. It said it's 170 miles from the equator. What does it mean?
I would say maybe it's perfectly in the middle if you like take the top right corner of Russia or Asia or whatever to the top left corner of North America. You know what I mean? Then maybe it's in the middle, but even so,
The middle of what? The Earth is supposed to be a sphere.
no, the middle of all the
so-
landmass.
Oh,
If you take the top right corner of Asia and then
Is that
on
what they're
the top
saying?
left corner of Alaska or whatever. I mean, let's look at the image.
there is no center, and the map they show is warped and is not a global.
Yeah, I noticed that. That doesn't look like the center to me. But
No, it doesn't.
like, if you look at just the perspective of what the map is showing you, it would be in the center of the geographical Earth's map if you treated the top left corner of the United States,
Maybe.
of North America, I guess.
They're
as
saying it
the
is in line with the equator.
top
Is that
left
what
corner
I'm
of the map.
saying?
And that's kind of what it looks like. But it's not in the exact middle of the equator. Like you said, it's 100 miles north or
I
whatever.
thought they said 170 just earlier. Dude, I don't know. This shit's weird. Let's go. Keep going.
The four faces of the Great Pyramid are slightly concave, the only one built this way. However, this phenomenon is only apparent at dusk and sunset on the spring and autumn equinoxes, when the sun
that's pretty
casts
wild.
shadows on the pyramid. And remarkably, the curvature designed into the faces of the Great Pyramid exactly matches the radius of the Earth. The mortar used to build the pyramids is stronger than stone, and over the years has been intensely analysed. Would you
Stronger
believe
than
that although it is
stone?
known what its chemical compound is, it's been impossible to reproduce? And one of the reasons the pyramid is still standing is that the cornerstone foundations have a ball and socket construction that is capable of withstanding heat expansion and earthquakes. Despite the searing heat of the Egyptian desert, the temperature inside the pyramid is a constant 20 degrees, the same as the average
Celsius?
temperature on Earth. And of course, we've all heard about the
Because if that's in
Orion's Belt
Fahrenheit, that's
theory,
fucking cold.
that shows
It's
the
just
pyramid's
freezing in
positioning
there.
matches with the three stars. So are all these, and the many other facts about the Great Pyramid, a massive coincidence? Or is there a deeper, more significant meaning to all this?
God damn it, I keep yawning. I hate this. They didn't even mention the speed of light shit.
With so many unanswered questions about the pyramids, there have been many alternative theories about how these precise constructions came about.
Hmm.
One theory that repeatedly comes up is life from another planet being responsible.
Okay,
The theory
we should watch
suggests
something else.
that the Egyptians must have had help from superior
Just like that.
yeah.
But there's spaceships and helicopters
And
and,
they're
hieroglyphics.
The Anunnaki.
Anyway.
It had to be the Anunnaki.
What about what was it? The PNC? Fucking bear or whatever, that bear creature.
Why?
Because there's conspiracy stuff in there.
I thought it was just.
Well,
I thought it was supposed to be like you know, like how. Oh God, why can't I think of any? I can't think of any words right now. Oh, creepypasta. I figured it's supposed to be like creepypasta style stuff. Where it's just stories.
It's probably slightly more substantial than that. More effort. SCP is what it was. The way the Forbidden City in China was built is pretty cool. What did you talk about wanting to look at?
The stairs.
Oh, the stairs conspiracy.
No, that's probably not gonna pull it up. Stare in the Woods. Oh, it did. If we're gonna watch Stare in the Woods, we need to watch Wendigoons. I will not
Okay.
watch some random person because I like Wendigoon. Yes, the
Is it?
mystery of the Stairs in the Woods. He does a lot of talking though,
That's fine.
because he's reading it.
Right. Well, I mean, that's saves us the trouble of reading it on Reddit.
Thanks, Wendy. I like that he puts it in all caps. He's just reading the Reddit story pretty much, but it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Let's all get the heebie-jeebies together, gang, and watch Wendigoon.
You know, at some point, it would make sense to
Quiet.
invest in an actual candle. Hello, everybody. Once again, we are back for another
really quiet.
spooky video, and this time
Spooky,
it will be a
scary
little different.
skeletons.
I have come down with something, potentially the Koof, probably not. It might be the Koof. This one is going to be more of a read-along. I'd rather you go in rather blind to what the subject is, but I'll
Yeah, you
have
guys
know
aren't blind.
it is
We talked
the
about it.
stairs in the woods, and more specifically,
Welcome, Rohan.
stories relating to a specific search and rescue ranger and his encounters with them. I want to say
Bum,
before
bum,
I begin,
bum.
thank you all for watching. I'll try to get through this with my sore throat, and we'll see how it goes. Patreon thanks will be at the end as usual, but once again, just thank you guys for watching. To give some context for this, it is a line
like
of
that we get
stories
creepies.
told from the Reddit
Creepy
thread.
walk
I'm a
through the
search and
woods.
rescue officer for the U.S. Forest Service. I have some stories to tell, which the link to the original post will be in the description below. But he talks throughout the story about Wendigos and missing kids cases and other creepy stuff that I may cover in the future. But for now, I just want to highlight the parts about the stairs in the woods. So in the first section, it's the first time he mentions it, so I'll just start there. This is the last one I'll tell, and it's probably the weirdest story I have. Now, I don't know if this is true in every search and rescue unit, but in mine, it's sort of an unspoken, regular thing we run into. You can try asking about it with other search and rescue officers, but even if they know what you're talking about, they probably won't say anything about it. We've been told not
I
to
need to
talk
meet a
about
search
it
and
by our
rescue
superiors, and at this point, we've all gotten so
there was
used
one
to
at
it
my
that it
old
doesn't even
job.
seem weird anymore.
Do you have his contact information?
She,
oh my god, I'm so
I don't-
sorry.
I don't
Do
know.
you have her contact information?
I don't know if she still works there. But no, I do not. But if she still worked there, I could feasibly ask her. If I still worked with her today, I would ask her first thing on Monday. But
One of my college professors here at the community college, he was a search and rescue volunteer. But I didn't know about the freaking stairs in the woods to ask him.
yeah, it would be interesting to ask this lady about it, because I mean, she definitely was passionate about it. She did it. It was basically all she did outside of work. Like her and her
Maybe
husband
she was passionate about it because of the stairs. Trying to find the origin.
trying to find more stairs. I don't know, but
Stair origin story.
she was so passionate about it that her and her husband had like an obstacle course on their property, like for training and shit.
Wait, I feel like that would be like hella fun.
Sometimes she would dip out of work to help with a rescue.
Oh,
stuff
that's
like
so
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I bet you rescuing somebody and saving their life is a little bit more important than helping to design one shitty little website for a shitty little company, which was the one that they were working for.
Your words, not mine.
On just about every case that were really far out into the wilderness, I'm talking 30 or 40 miles, at some point we'll find a staircase in the middle of the woods. It's almost like if you took the stairs in your house, cut them out, and put them in the forest. I asked about it the first time I saw some, and the other officer just told me not to worry about it, that it was normal. Everyone I asked said the same thing, and I wanted to check them out, but I was told, very empathetically, that I should never go near any of them. I just sort of ignore them now when I run into them because it happens so frequently. One of my first jobs as a trainee was a search op
That's a
for
lot
a
of
4-year-old that had gotten separated from his mom. This was one of those cases where we knew we were going to find him because the dogs were on a strong scent trail and we saw clear signs that he was in the area. We ended up finding him in a berry patch about half a mile from where he'd been last seen. Kid wasn't even aware that he'd wandered that far. One of the vets brought him back, which I was glad for because I'm really not good with kids and I find it hard to talk to them and keep them company. As my trainer and I are heading back, she decides to take me on a detour to show me one of the hot spots where we tend to find missing people. It's a natural dip in the land near a popular trail, and people will usually move downhill because it's easier. We hike out there. It's a few miles away, and we get there in about an hour or so. As we're walking around the area and she's pointing out places she's found people in the past, I see something in the distance. Now, this area we're in is about 8 miles from the main parking area. Though there's back roads you can take to get closer if you don't want to hike that far. But we're on a state protected land, which means that there can't be any kind of commercial or residential development out here. The most you'll ever see is a fire tower or makeshift shelter that homeless people think they can get away with building. But I can see from here that whatever this thing is has straight edges, and if there's one thing you can learn quickly, it's that nature rarely makes straight lines.
Other than those
I pointed out, but she doesn't say anything. She just hangs back and lets me wander over and check it out. I get within about 20 feet of it and all the hair on the back of my neck stands up. It's a staircase, in the middle of the woods. In the proper context, it would literally be the most benign thing ever. It's just a normal staircase with beige carpet and about 10 steps tall. But instead of being in a house, where it obviously should be, it's out here in the middle of the woods. The sides aren't carpeted, obviously, and I can see the wood it's made of. It's almost like a video game glitch, where the house has failed to load completely and the stairs are the only thing visible. I stand there, and it's like my brain is working overtime to try to make sense of what I'm seeing. My trainer comes and stands next to me. She just stands there casually, looking at it as if it's the least interesting thing in the world. I ask her what this thing is doing here, and she just chuckles. Get used to it, rookie. You're going to see a lot of them. I start to move closer, but she grabs my arm. Hard. I wouldn't do that, she says. Her voice is casual, but her grip is tight, and I just stand there looking at her. You're going to see them all the time, but don't go near them. Don't touch them. Don't go up them. Just ignore them. I start to ask her about it, but something in the way she's looking at me tells me it's best if I don't. We end up moving on, and the subject doesn't come up again for the rest of my training. She was right, though. I'd say about every 5th call I go on, I end up running across a set of stairs. Sometimes they're relatively close to the path, maybe within 2 or 3 miles. Sometimes they're 20, 30 miles out, literally in the middle of nowhere, and I only find them during the broadest searches or training weekends. They're usually in good condition, but sometimes it looks like they've been out there for months. All different kinds, all different sizes.
For months.
The biggest I ever saw looked like they came out of a turn-of-the-century mansion and were at least 10 feet wide, with steps leading up at least 15
Dude,
or 20
I'd be so
feet.
dumb, I'd just walk straight up.
I've tried
that
talking
shit.
about it with people,
If I
but
didn't
they just
know,
give me the same response my trainer did. It's normal,
It'd be a
don't worry
pretty
about it,
normal
they're not a big
response.
deal. But don't go close to them or up them. When trainees ask about it now, I give them the same response. I don't really know what else to tell them. I'm really hoping someday I get a better answer, but it hasn't happened yet. In the next story, the search and rescue officer is talking about an interaction that his friend had with the staircase. And the author says this: My buddy has been a search and rescue officer for about 7 years. He started when he was a junior in college, and he had a very similar experience when he first encountered the stairs. His trainer told him almost the same thing mine did, which was never to go near, touch, or ascend them. For the first year, he did just that, but apparently his curiosity got the better of him, and on one call, he broke away from the line and went to go check a set of them out. He said they were about 10 miles from the path where a teenage girl had vanished, and the dogs were following a scent. He was on his own, lagging behind the main group, when he saw a set of stairs off to his left. They looked like they were from a new house, because the carpeting was pristine and white. He said that as he got closer, he didn't feel any different or hear any weird noises. He was expecting something to happen, like bleeding from his ears or collapsing, but he got right up next to them and didn't feel a thing. The only thing, he said, that was odd was that there was absolutely no debris on the steps. No dirt, leaves, dust, or anything.
The carpet was white.
And there didn't appear to be any signs of animal or insect activity in the immediate area, which he found strange.
No, Joshua.
It was less like things were avoiding them,
Yeah, let's send the
and
new
more
guy
like
up.
they just happened to be in a relatively barren part of the forest. He touched the stairs and didn't feel anything except the sort of sticky feeling you get from new carpet. Making sure his radio was on, he slowly climbed the stairs. He said it was terrifying because the way they'd been stigmatized, he wasn't really sure what was going to happen to him. He joked that half of him expected to be teleported to some other dimension, and the other half of him was watching for a UFO to come swooping down. But he got to the top with little event, and he stood there looking around. But, he said, the longer he stood on the top step, the more he felt like he was doing something very, very wrong. He described it as the feeling you'd get if you were in a part of a government building that you had no business being in. As if someone was going to come and arrest you or shoot you in the back of the head at any second. He tried to brush it off, but the feeling got stronger and stronger, and that's when he realized that he couldn't hear anything. The sounds of the forest were gone, and he couldn't hear his own breathing. It was like some kind of weird, awful tinnitus, but more oppressive. He climbed back down and rejoined the search and didn't mention what he'd done. But, he said, the weirdest part came after. His trainer was waiting back at the Welcome Center after the search ended for the day, and he cornered my buddy before he could leave. He said his trainer had this look of intense anger, and he asked what was wrong. "You went up them, didn't you?" My buddy said it wasn't phrased as a question. He asked how his trainer knew, and the trainer just shook his head. "Because we didn't find her. The dogs lost her scent." My buddy asked what that had to do with anything. The trainer asked how long he'd been on the stairs, and my buddy said no more than a minute. The trainer gave him this really awful, almost dead-eyed look, and told him that if he ever went up another set of stairs again, he'd be fired immediately. The trainer walked away, and I guess he's never answered any of the questions my buddy's asked about him since. Now, I don't want to give too much of it away, especially with what comes later, but it is my theory that these stairs in the woods are a sort of interdimensional construct, sort of as if there are different layers or parallel universes existing together, and these stairs sort of act as passageways between them.
The sisterhood of the traveling Bigfoot.
The sisterhood of the traveling staircase.
I don't believe that last story.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe, huh? She just totally disappears after he goes up the stairs.
Get used to it, rookie.
I don't really think we need to keep going because it's pretty much just stories like this.
Stories like that. I remember reading some of these.
There's one where a guy basically goes up the top of the stairs and sticks his hands out in front of him, and as soon as he sticks his hands out, they slice off.
Yeah.
That was one of them. And then another was some really fucked up shit happened to a little boy.
What do the people think in the comments?
Everyone, look, kid, I'll tell you about them, but you can't tell anyone.
No sleep stuff, no cliche, overdone monster slashing. It's just like all tension.
Yeah.
It's like very much a Blair Witch type of deal.
Staircase? Haven't heard that name in a long time. What?
That's another one. It is interesting. I mean, I feel like I've never seen that kind of a staircase, but I have seen like just random staircases. Like, oh, somebody built a trail here or tried to a long time ago, and it just, never got maintained.
Apparently, they're saying here that there are some staircases that lead to small platforms just for hunters, but they're not like fancy.
Usually hunters would have a hide and they wouldn't take stairs to get up there. They'd use a ladder or something like that. Source. Trust me, bro.
Yep.
It is interesting, though.
The idea gives me the heebie-jeebies, but I don't really buy it, I would like to know for myself 100% though, because there's a little part of me that's like 0.5% that's like
only one way to find out. We have to go into the woods and search until we find a staircase. And then we leave.
Okay.
After I walk up to the top of it.
Stop. What? All the hunters here, because it's a desert and there's not really like a good place to hide, they just wear camo and hide in bushes and they camp.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the hide doesn't have to be in a tree. It can just be in a bush too.
Yeah. At least out around here, the high desert. I already don't like using the stairs in my house because I broke my ass falling down them.
The villain of Edith Finch. Whatever that's about. SCP 999.
I'm pretty sure Liz's dad has like a whole, what the fuck? Like,
They're like Pokemon.
oh what? Oh no. I don't know. I think he has a whole like table set up specifically for hunting where he just has to, he doesn't have to carry it around. Exactly. I don't know if that makes.
Right. Oh, it's all animated. Humans refuted. Dude, this is wild.
What?
And they're uploading them so often. I thought
They're just
animations were really time
pumping
consuming to make.
this
Maybe, and I guess they
content
are,
out.
but yeah. The foundation.
Boom, boom, boom.
Containment breach. Oh, here we go. Zombies.
I would like.
Oh my god.
That's definitely loud. Let me turn
Contain.
that
No, we
down.
should look at the one they recommended. Oh wait, no, it was 999 and 682. You can probably just search it here. SC in the search YouTube search bar. Oh, I see.
Damn it.
There you go.
SCP 999.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, the tickle monster.
Almost all.
Oh my god.
That is pretty loud.
Yep. Soup's loud.
All right, guys, let's dive in.
No, you don't have it. Yeah, there you go.
Cross-testing to kill or pacify SCP-682 had failed miserably. If you haven't seen it, go watch our video on the legendary hard-to-kill reptile to see just how powerful and terrifying this creature is.
Oh,
It
that's the
faced
one
the
you
Gate
recommended.
Guardian,
I
an
like-
SCP with a flaming sword hotter than the sun, capable of tearing your atoms to shreds, and came out fine. In its face-off with the horrifying SCP-096, also known as the Shy Guy, it broke the Shy Guy's mind and reduced it to gibbering despair. Even SCPs with supposedly unlimited powers simply refused to engage the beast in combat. So, when it was proposed that they test 682 with SCP-999, a creature known among Foundation staff as the Tickle Monster, the idea was considered laughable. 682 had been burned, suffocated, cut up, incinerated, and growled in the faces of the gods. How could this so-called Tickle Monster ever hope to survive an encounter, let alone win a fight? Some even believe that this was the last we'd see of SCP-999. But what makes
That would
this
be
story
me.
truly remarkable is that isn't how this played out. As you'll soon discover, SCP-999 is an amazing and unique SCP in and of itself.
Peace out, Rowan.
But its secret
Good
origins
night.
and its interactions with some
Hasta
other
luego.
prominent figures in the SCP universe are what make this humble, slimy creature beyond extraordinary. Prepare yourself for the heartwarming, yes, you heard that right, the heartwarming story of SCP-999. Several highly trained agents on 682 Detail placed 999 into the immortal lizard cell. Compared to the giant reptilian sitting across from it, 999 wasn't much to look at. It's a large orange amorphous blob of anomalous slime. Weighing in at around 120 pounds, SCP-999 was nothing compared to the monstrosity it was supposed to face. While its weight has in the past caused minor injuries to some of its human handlers, it has never caused serious or long-lasting damage of any kind to a living thing. Even its diet consists only of candy and sweets, with a particular preference for M&Ms and Necco wafers. It consumes these treats through the cell membrane of its
M&Ms,
slimy body, much like an amoeba. This extremely stretchy membrane means the creature is highly malleable, including the ability to stretch and flatten itself out to a mere 2 centimeters thick. At rest, the creature takes a dome-like shape around 2 meters wide and 1 meter in height. The closest things the creature has to limbs are prehensile pseudopods. Those are the arm-like projections normally seen on single-celled organisms,
You really
of which
thought
it
this
has
shit
at least
through.
3.
That's
Yeah.
The more you hear about this utterly harmless creature, the more that matching it up with the pure embodiment of absolute hatred known as SCP-682 feels downright cruel. In absolute contrast to the misanthropic attitudes of the reptile, 999 loves humans. It has a playful dog-like attitude. Much like an overexcited puppy when approached, 999 will react with extreme joy and slither towards the nearest person in order to interact. It will leap onto them, using 2 of its 3 prehensile pseudopods to hug the person, while the third nuzzles the person's face, emitting high-pitched cooing and gurgling noises throughout. The creature is apparently pleasant in every conceivable fashion, as even its odor has been reported to smell just like the favorite scent of whoever is smelling it. Examples have included chocolate, fresh laundry, bacon, roses, and Play-Doh. It's almost impossible to oversell just how beloved and benevolent this strange creature is. It's one of the rare sapient SCPs to earn the Safe class, and it's allowed to roam freely around its facility at all times, apart from a 1-hour bedtime period between 8 and 9 p.m. In the rare instances that 999 has caused harm to a worker at the facility, it immediately began to back away and contract its body while whimpering in a kind of dog-like apology. The closest the Foundation has ever come to having a real incident with the creature was the time someone accidentally fed it a can of caffeinated cola, causing it to become hyper for an hour before becoming visibly queasy. You'll be relieved to know that it's since made a full recovery. But what would happen when this whimsical creature is forced to go toe-to-toe with the Foundation's most ill-tempered monster? The employees observing the test watched in suspense as 999 began to enthusiastically slither towards 682. It's no surprise that after being tortured and almost killed hundreds of times during testing, 682 had grown jaded to the cross tests it was regularly subjected to. When it saw this strange orange blob squelching across the ground towards it, it sighed and groaned, expecting the worst. "What is that?" the creature asked of its gelatinous guest. SCP-999 began jumping up and down in front of 682 like an excited puppy, creating a high-pitched squealing noise. Just as it regarded all living things, 682 thought the creature bouncing around before it was disgusting and hardly worth the effort to destroy. Was the Foundation even trying anymore? With a single vicious stomp, 682 flattened the friendly creature beneath one of its feet. Observers were prepared to charge in and liberate 999 from under 682's claws. But then something truly unexpected happened. The expression on 682's acid-eaten face began to slowly change. It was beginning to smile. Observers recorded a noise what they thought could have been a chuckle, as the creature growled and said, "What is this? I feel good." While the observers looked on, stunned at what was happening, 999 began to slither and crawl up from between 682's toes. It reformed on its scaly leg and slithered up along its side until it reached the neck. There it began to nuzzle like it had never nuzzled before. The results spoke for themselves. 682 was grinning and chuckling, repeating a phrase that the Foundation never would have imagined coming from 682. "Feel so happy.
Oh.
Happy.
I thought I was gonna say good, and I was like, yeah, they're definitely happy.
Just when you thought SCP-999 couldn't possibly be more adorable, you learn about its greatest power, bringing joy. Anyone and anything that comes into contact with the creature, even in passing, will experience a kind of mild euphoria. As one's contact with the creature is prolonged, this overwhelming sense of joy increases and continues long after you've separated from it. Prolonged contact has completely cured depression, anxiety, and PTSD, along with a number of other conditions, including rage and antisocial personality disorders. Serial killers practically become saints after coming into prolonged contact with 999, and in that moment, 682 was no exception. And there truly does not appear to be no exceptions. While causing happiness and joy isn't a dangerous weapon, when it comes to SCP-999, it is an extremely powerful one. And what's more, SCP-999 also appears to have an innate sense for those who need its help most. With a particular affection for the hurt and the unhappy,
It's really like,
the creature appears to be a true altruist on a fundamental level, even risking its own safety to help humans during dangerous containment breaches. In one dramatic instance, 999 leaped into the air to block a bullet from making contact with a member of staff. As a result, the creature is pretty much universally loved by all members of Foundation staff. It's the one SCP who has never made trouble for anyone. Back in SCP-682's containment cell, the beast was still smiling and laughing as 999 rubbed against its neck. It was an event so strange, so unprecedented, that the observers in attendance felt like they were hallucinating. For a few minutes, the monster kept dreamily repeating the word, happy. But then, suddenly, the creature began to enter a fit of uncontrollable, booming laughter. It rolled onto its back, slamming its huge tail against the door. It had just fallen victim to one of 999's favorite pastimes, tickle fights, hence how it earned its Tickle Monster nickname among staff. The tickle fight continued until 682 appeared to tire and fall asleep, with a smile still on its face. After 15 minutes of inactivity, two D-Class personnel were commanded to enter and retrieve SCP-999 from the containment cell. They did so successfully, but as soon as 999 was removed, 682 roused from its slumber and released a powerful psychic attack from its entire body while laughing maniacally. It rendered all personnel within a certain distance incapacitated as they collapsed in fits of laughter, allowing 682 to escape and go on a violent rampage. However, in spite of this, 999 showed no fear and helped save some of the bystanders as security officers subdued and recaptured 682. And even after all of this, 999 showed no hard feelings towards 682 and indicated a desire to play again. It's a creature whose capacity for love is so limitless that it's practically immune to fear. Which is all well and good, because the true enemy that 999 is destined to face is infinitely more powerful and terrifying than 682 could ever hope to be. What is this monster? And why should 999 have to face it someday? The answers to these questions all lie in the true origins of SCP-999, available only to those with level 5 clearance and beyond. It's a perfect example of how something good can come from the darkest places. There would be no SCP-999 without SCP-231-7. SCP-231 was a collection of 7 girls, all impregnated by horrific nightmares in a ritual performed by a cult known as the Children of the Scarlet King. Each of these girls, over the years that followed, gave birth to some of the most horrific monsters imaginable. One of which, according to some, was SCP-682. These beings were manifested by the Scarlet King, a powerful interdimensional nightmare god believed to be behind a great deal of the darkness and horror present within our and many other dimensions. Foundation higher-ups have declared the Scarlet King to be the greatest existing threat to the multiverse at large. And SCP-231 was his latest direct interaction with our universe. The only surviving member of SCP-231, SCP-231-7, gave birth in secret. But she didn't give birth to a monster. She gave birth to SCP-999, a being of pure goodness. That's right. The nicest, kindest, cuddliest SCP of all is the direct descendant of a being that's essentially the dark god of all evil. Feel free to take a moment to absorb that. The creature even healed the girl who birthed it and allowed her to return to normal life with her family once more. From its first moments, SCP-999 was making positive changes to the world around it. And according to ancient texts from a Scarlet King-aligned culture known as the Deivas, SCP-999 is still very much in its infancy, yet it already has the power to pacify its monstrous siblings like the aforementioned 682. It's believed, according to some prophecies and Foundation theories, that the power of SCP-999 will grow exponentially as it matures. Why does this matter? Well, it's believed by some that one day, 999 will grow powerful enough to overthrow not only its own monstrous siblings, but the thought-to-be unstoppable Scarlet King himself. Not through violence or hate, but through the pure force of happiness and love burning out the darkness and purifying the corrupted. While the humble SCP-999 rarely outshines its frightening competitors, to those truly in the know, 999 is one of the most powerful and valuable SCPs in existence, and may be the greatest asset in the Foundation's arsenal for the war against dangerous anomalous activity. After all, what could strike more fear into their hearts than the knowledge that it might be love rather than firepower that finally dethrones the Scarlet King? And for the knowledge that it may one day save everything we know from a fate so much worse than death, with nothing but affection for everyone and everything, it's worth offering thanks to the little orange blob, or at least an extra pack of M&Ms before bedtime.
Little orange blob to save us from ourselves. You have a mighty hair in your beard.
Absolute Chad lad.
I am sleepies.
You sleepies?
Yeah, my Zevia is gone.
So it's fan fiction for cryptids.
I see. I like it.
I follow.
I
Do we
want
want to
one.
watch? Do we want to watch 682?
Let's see how long it is. Okay.
Are we watching it?
Yeah.
Okay.
SCP
Un mas.
You don't eat the orange jello. No, Joshua. No.
Ooh.
That's off limits. Not allowed. What was that for?
Eating the orange jello.
Ooh, I don't like jello.
I know.
Gross.
You have been very passionate
Jello sucks. If you like jello,
about it.
nah.
I just don't care about jello.
It's not good enough for me to enjoy it. The texture.
It's not on my radar.
My main problem with
001s are all god tier entities or anomalies.
Oh.
This is a lot deeper than I thought. Don't eat 999.
I want a pet 999.
You could probably get a plushie of that too.
682 must be destroyed as soon as possible. So begins the SCP Foundation file on the dreaded SCP-682, a highly intelligent reptilian monster that has, despite the Foundation's best efforts, proved impossible to kill. It may not be the most dangerous SCP out there, considering that some are capable of eliminating entire realities, but it's one of the most iconic. And you've probably heard tales of the monster that death forgot, and you know exactly why everyone is so afraid of the so-called hard-to-kill reptile. It's been subjected to some of the most deadly weapons and traps the Foundation could devise, and survived attacks from some of its deadliest fellow
They nuke it?
SCPs. But before we tell you about the Foundation's many failed assassination attempts against
They've
the
never attempted nuking it?
Well, I just kind of found it funny that they said, the narrator said he's been subjected to some of the most destructive weapons, and it's just like 4 guys shooting P90s at it. Like,
Yeah.
really, that's not the most deadly. You couldn't try napalm or something like that? Thank you, Painter. Doing very well.
Aww.
Very well and sloppy drunk. They have plush 999s, but I haven't gotten myself one yet.
Adorable.
Someday. That's a keeper. I had no idea. This is just a fascinating corner of the internet we have happened upon
Yeah, I've
here.
never seen any of this
It's just a
before.
whole fan fiction empire of cryptids, and they have their own YouTube channels and animations. It's wild.
so-called hard-to-kill reptile. We need a little more groundwork on what this creature even is. The first thing to know about SCP-682 is that this thing wants you and everything you know dead. Unlike some other creatures like SCP-096 and SCP-173, which are murderous but exhibit no real higher processing skills, SCP-682 possesses cunning, advanced reasoning, and even human-level logical intelligence. SCP-682 can engage you in conversation, but just talking to the creature calmly and cordially will
very
sometimes
shaggy
cause it to
hair.
enter its rage state, where it becomes
supposed to be
even more
hair?
dangerous and volatile. The beast is perpetually kept
thought
in a
it was
tank of
like,
powerful hydrochloric acid, melting
some-
its tissue to prevent
some
it from
type of
reaching its
garment.
full potential and going on a rampage. The creature's
Got a
most
little
terrifying
hood on.
asset, and the reason it's
thought
proven
it was like
impossible to
fur or
terminate thus far, is its incredible adaptability to any and all external stimuli. 682 is a reactive being, capable of not only surviving and regenerating from all attacks, but often incorporating those attacks into its own wide arsenal. In other words, if you're hoping to kill this thing, you better kill it on the first hit. Because if you don't, you better believe it's gonna hit you back 100 times harder. This brings us to the
Didn't
main
even
event.
show him
Some of the
eating them. I
SCP
thought they'd be,
Foundation's
like,
most ambitious and
falling into
frightening
his mouth
attempts
or
to
something.
terminate
You just see him gobble 'em up.
SCP-682, or even understand how it could theoretically be terminated. There are quite literally too many unsuccessful attempts for us to list them all here, so think of this as a highlight reel of the Foundation's most prominent failures. 682 was first cross-tested with SCP-017, a humanoid shadow entity shown to be able to consume matter with its shadows and leave no traces behind. Tests on tissue samples from 682 showed that SCP-017 was able to consume said tissues with no adverse effects. However, when SCP-017 was placed into the containment chamber with the actual creature, 682 let out a horrific roar that was so loud it damaged nearby audio equipment. SCP-017 fled to the corner of the room, and 682, in its rage state, attempted to breach containment. Agents managed to suppress and remove the creature, but no meaningful damage was logged. Attempt failed. SCP-173, the killer statue, was later brought in, hoping that its thus far impeccable track record for killing would hold strong. The second that 173 was introduced into the testing area, 682 retreated to the far wall and began screeching intensely. It was intelligent enough to know what it was dealing with here. While the researchers and guards expected an instantaneous reaction, there was actually a stalemate for over 6 hours, as 682 stared at 173 continuously. Eventually, the tie was broken when agents shot out 682's eyes with high-caliber sniper rifles,
So he does have
breaking
eyes.
the line of sight and causing 173 to attack. Though 682 sustained damage to several parts of its body, while its eyes regenerated, the creature was not killed. It then regenerated a number of eyes all over its body, covered in a clear armored carapace that made them resistant to bullets. The stalemate continued for an additional 12 hours as 682 maintained
Resident
perpetual
Evil
eye
monster.
contact.
Got
173
eyes all
was
over the
eventually
place.
removed from the
Eyes on
containment
eyes on
unit,
eyes.
and the mission was aborted. Attempt failed. In their desperation, the SCP Foundation restored to bringing in another dangerous and seemingly unkillable monster to take on 682. SCP-096, also known as the Shy
Poor
Guy.
crybaby.
As astute SCP fans will already know, this being kills anything that sees its face, with no known exceptions, and when it enters its attack mode, it's thought to be quite literally unstoppable. Or at least, it was. While SCP-096 was able to destroy 85% of 682's original body mass during their 27-hour battle, it was left mentally broken, wounded, and huddled in the corner. To this day, if ever confronted with SCP-682, the Shy Guy reacts in pure terror, turning away and clawing at its own face. Attempt failed. During a deadly containment breach, SCP-682 also went head-to-head organically with another iconic SCP Hall of Famer,
Just immediately puts the whole
SCP-106,
system
also
in
known as the
danger.
Old Man. The Old Man and a shape-shifting
not the Old
psionic
Man.
anomaly known as SCP-953 broke into 682's containment cell. The Old Man pulled both of his fellow anomalous combatants into his pocket dimension to continue the battle on his terms. However, despite losing 67% of his body mass during the ensuing pocket dimension showdown, 682 still prevailed, with the Old Man eventually fleeing back to his cell,
Hell
and
yeah.
953
Get
being
lost,
collected
Old
and
Man.
taken away by agents. Once again, SCP-682 continued to hold the title. But it wasn't just cross-testing experiments, intentional or otherwise. The SCP Foundation's quest to kill 682 led them to a number of more conventional murder methods, all with varying degrees of success. Due to SCP-682's highly adaptive abilities, some methods were discounted from the outset. For example, launching a powerful thermonuclear missile at the creature was soundly rejected by O5 Command, on the premise that if the creature wasn't destroyed and evolved to the point where it could shrug off nukes, humanity would be pretty much done for. Other ideas were abandoned just for being too ridiculous, such as one researcher's suggestion to fly the creature through the air and drop it from a considerable height, hoping to kill it with a high-altitude impact. I'm not sure we even need to tell you why that's a terrible idea, but during the experiments on SCP-682, the studies range from honest to incompetent to
Launch it
straight
into
up
space.
evil. One guest researcher fed 2 small innocent children to the creature just to see what would happen. He was then himself fed to the creature for his sadistic behavior, which
Hell
was viewed
yeah.
as getting in the way of his professional conduct. After all, the Foundation is meant to be cold,
I look like the
not
same guy
cruel.
from the 999.
It was SCP-682 that had the monopoly on cruelty. Memetic kill agents were a resounding failure. They attempted to dismember 682 with a powerful laser, only to have the creature develop reflective surfaces that displaced the beam and caused catastrophic damage to the area around
Jeffrey
it. They attempted to kill the
Bezos.
creature by sucking all the air out of its containment facility and create a vacuum. But it expelled a dangerous gaseous compound that reacted violently and exploded when air was once again introduced into the room. The Foundation used high-precision blades to slice SCP-682 into approximately 12,000 pieces, then separated these pieces. Unsurprisingly, by this point, this attempt also failed. The 12,000 pieces reformed a short while later into the fully operational killing machine we all
Just
know
like
and
that
fear.
fucking
In one particularly frightening display of
Transformer
intelligence
together.
and adaptability,
Yeah.
the Foundation attempted to kill
Body
682 with
parts
extreme
roll
heat,
out.
but it shielded
Except
itself
it's
by
rolling.
developing a
Body
second
parts
carapace
rolling.
composed of solid helium. When personnel
Roll
entered the
together.
room following the failed attempt on the creature's life, it shattered its helium carapace into deadly shards that fired around the room and shredded all Foundation personnel in
What's
attendance.
up?
It had set a trap, and that
That is
trap
what he
had
literally
been
just
wildly
fucking did.
successful.
Yeah.
The creature's ability to adapt to seemingly any offense is unparalleled, to the point where Foundation staff have no idea how to classify this creature.
No.
Whether it's organic, inorganic, or even alive at all based on any definitions
Bring
we
in
could
that
understand.
NFTs.
At every turn, the creature just raised more questions. What is it? Is it possible to destroy it at all by any means? Who was even trying to kill who here?
I'm gonna go out on a limb
Because
here
it
and say
certainly
that.
seemed like SCP-682 had a masterful KD ratio by now. More extreme feats of cross-testing continued in the Foundation's growing desperation to eliminate this monster. SCP-162, which is a hypnotic ball of sharp objects, hooks, and high-tension fishing line, was introduced to 682's containment cell. The hooks latched onto the creature and tore huge portions off, including its entire lower jaw and one of its limbs. However, 682 was still able to breach containment, kill 11 people, and badly wound 86 others. It regenerated its severe injuries in no time. The beast was even taken to the domain of the Gate Guardian, one of the proposals for SCP-001. The Guardian had a flaming sword hotter than the sun, capable of destroying its targets on an atomic level. Naturally, SCP-682 survived and regenerated. Perhaps the most fascinating cross-test of all was between 682 and SCP-053, who manifests as a kind, innocent little girl with the unfortunate condition of causing homicidal tendencies in all who come into contact with her for more than 10 minutes. The people with these tendencies would then attempt to harm the girl, but would immediately drop dead shortly after, leaving the girl intact. The researchers present anticipated two possible outcomes here. The optimistic outcome, in which 682 enters a rage state, attacks 053, and died for good. And the realistic outcome, in which 682 attacks 053, possibly experiencing some minor injury or nothing at all, and 053 had to be removed from the containment cell. But that didn't happen. What did occur was considerably more shocking than any kind of violence. When 053 entered 682's containment chamber, the monster became uncharacteristically docile. Researchers and staff were baffled and watched with amazement as 053 approached the terrifying, immortal, mass-murdering monster and began to play with it. 682 even allowed 053 to draw on its face with crayons. Researchers thought they must have been dreaming, seeing this surreal display play out. 053 even appeared to have affection for this unkillable misanthrope. It was a single act in defiance of everything they thought they knew. When Foundation personnel entered the containment cell to separate the two, 682 went ballistic and killed multiple guards. 053 also wept, sad at being separated from her new friend.
My best friend!
To this day,
No,
despite further
682.
testing, the Foundation has no idea how or why this happened. Like many details surrounding SCP-682, it's shrouded in deeply frustrating mystery. And so the tale of SCP-682 continues, in spite of the Foundation's best efforts. The monster continues to breach containment and slaughter with some regularity, taking out its seemingly limitless hatred for not only human beings, but anything that dares draw breath.
Not the
Nobody
puppy.
knows
Why would
where exactly the creature is from, what its true nature
Bunch of
is,
dumb
or why its
fucks.
ability to adapt and regenerate far exceeds any known organism on this planet. Perhaps one day, through enough research and cross-testing, we can someday answer these questions with scientific precision. But until then, we only have one answer. Hatred never dies.
I thought 999 was gonna be in this one. Anyway, hey yo, welcome back to the stream. It's your boy 682, and today we're doing some more COD to keep up my Katie. Yes.
The insurance rates at the Foundation must be astronomical.
Yeah.
The fucking breaching containment every day, killing and maiming all the employees. I wouldn't want to work there.
Nope.
SCP-2430, Immortal Hitler clone. This is awesome. God's Blind Spot. Oh, they did a special episode on SCP-001. That's cool. This is wild. There's so many videos. It would take a week to watch them all.
Hey, good boy. Focus on this. Look at this. Look at this little boy. Hi.
Mighty.
You think you see bees? Hi, CBs. He just ate. Can you tell? He's like still getting the crumbsies off
Licking
his
his
face.
chops.
You good boy. Yes. Ooh.
They just kidnap people from death row, but they would be horribly unreliable employees, would they not?
Yeah.
Look at some XK class end of the world scenarios. Ooh.
Oh, dude.
Oh, that's interesting. End of the world. Oh, it's more animation. I see. More SCP stuff. Wow, this is a totally different rabbit hole here.
Yeah, it's a whole like genre that I
When
didn't even know
day
existed.
breaks, right?
Yeah.
The internet is a fascinating place.
It sure is.
I've
Anyway,
complained to management. They'll just throw you in the hole and you'll get fucking eaten, bud. It
Thank you, matey.
won't work out. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
We
and watching
realized our regular schedule
conspiracy videos. Yeah.
is James and I together Monday and Wednesday, and then me solo Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Because we were arguing about it. We're like,
Yeah.
what?
With sometimes
What was our stream
streams
schedule?
on Friday. But I haven't been playing many games lately. I might get the itch soon. I've been thinking about Red Dead a lot
Especially because
recently.
we're coming up on fall. Okay.
A Red Dead 2 playthrough could be in my future. But I also feel like playing Halo too.
What are we gonna do Monday? Are you gonna play one of those games?
Probably not. We can do Crash Bandicoot. Or watch more conspiracy SCP stuff. Doesn't matter to me. Definitely do Red Dead. Says Anti-Nonco.
I'm hella entertained by Red Dead. So
I need to look at Psychonauts.
that whole time on our horseback riding trip, and we just kept making jokes. I was giving my horse pets, saying,
There,
"Hey,
boy."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah. Is it who made it? Double Fine. What else is Double Fine done?
Fine.
They have done Psychonauts, obviously. Massive Chalice, Rad, Headlander, The Cave. I recognize that. Oh, they did Broken Age.
I literally cannot stop yawning. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be rude.
You're tired. Is Chelsea tired?
Yes.
Hope you all have a great weekend. And we'll be back Monday?
Yes.
Monday.
Together.
Or something. I don't know what
Evening.
yet.
And then I'll be back Tuesday for Skyrim.
Lots of Skyrim.
I got some shits to take care of. I'm gonna finish up that Barbas quest.
Yep.
And find the transmute spell.
Yep.
Those
New
are my
Vegas
plans.
playthrough would be fun too.
Yeah, for the
If I
fourth time.
finished it, yeah, that would be I think the third time.
Well, you tried Fallout like twice over like a 2-month period. You started it and then you quit and then you started it over.
I don't know. It's really hard to stay motivated with the Fallout games. Fallout 4, I've tried to beat that like 4 separate times. I just can't do it.
Maybe I can.
Maybe you can. I mean, it might be a good thing for you to pick up after you finish Skyrim if you want to take a break
I saw
from
people
Skyrim.
suggesting it on stream yesterday. Play Fallout 4.
Could be something to do. But
Maybe.
again, thanks for coming out, hanging out. We will see all of you next week.
Hasta. Not mañana. I guess.
Hasta
Well, is it Monday, Lunes?
Lunes Day.
Lunes Day?
Yeah.
I guess I could just say hasta luego.
Yeah, that works.
See you later, guys.
Hasta la vista.
Get lots of rest.
Take it easy.
Hi, guys. Bye, guys. Aw, sorry, Kryptonite. Yes.
Sorry, dude. We are tired, and it's
just
time
pooped.
to get some rest.
I'm poops to party. It's Betty by time.
Yes, it is.
Thanks for hanging out. It was so much fun today watching Conspiracy Theories.
We'll do this again at some point. Take it easy.
Peace.
Peace.